The stream has been started.
Excellent.
Yeah, I was almost thinking before I went to go shower, like, maybe I should hit up Mangler real quickly and ask him if he'd rather just start early. But I figured you were busy.
The journey so far.
No.
Now, unfortunately, today I drank a fuck ton of water, so I'm still going to be going back and forth with the restroom for a bit.
But there were still ghosts that would be heard. Absalom, will you ride once more?
Where in the hell am I? Oh, that's right. This cursed place.
Yes, that one place.
It's that place that we're all familiar with.
Yes, I, as someone who's never played this game, am completely familiar with it.
If you didn't show up for another 20 minutes, I was going to send you a message to say Dark Souls is the greatest story of all time.
Gross. What are you...
I'll just keep going till I get there.
You're just gonna keep saying more bullshit until then?
The most egregious example that I can think of until you show up.
Honestly, probably...
Well, there's the...
If we're talking about something like that, probably the worst thing you could have told me is that Mortal Kombat 11 had the best girls in fighting game.
I don't think I would have had the knowledge to make that claim.
That's for the best. You poor son of a bitch. Oh, Kyle, I've earned you your freedom. You're welcome.
Oh, there he is.
Can you repeat that without cutting out?
Kyle,
technically you earned your own freedom.
I've won your freedom, Kyle. I spoke to him earlier. You are free.
Oh my gosh.
I now know what the person was feeling from 100 years a slave.
Now, is it really slavery if we're all enslaved?
Yes.
Should I tell
it?
my riddle, see if he can guess it?
Go ahead, why not? You're already free. He can't hurt you anymore.
I'll send it to him directly. You can read it at his own leisure.
Oh, did you guys all come up with riddles after going to Ragnarok?
No,
that's adorable.
Kyle sent me a riddle, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Riddles are often very interesting for the mind.
They encourage lateral thinking.
Yes.
We'll see if Kyle agrees. We'll see if England agrees with this one. I do believe Elden Ring will win Game of the Year. Its only real competition is Ragnarok. Unless Stray really takes it.
No, unless they
People just really,
Slayer's
people
not
just
in.
really interested in that.
So, Hellsinger only got in for Best Soundtrack. That was the only thing it was nominated for. Which kind of caught me off guard.
The game's like 3 hours long. What the fuck else do you want from it?
Yeah, but it wasn't even the best, like, action game. And Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 was.
Would you disagree?
For best action game? Kind of. I mean, do you think first-person shooters...
Bandetta's right there.
I mean, do you think first-person shooters should be considered action games?
I think that's fair. I don't know about Kyle.
God of War shouldn't be Elden Ring. I'll just call a spade here and say that that's going to be up to the judges and the actual fighting and the actual community.
Are we talking about like a proper analysis, or are we talking by the metric of their votes? Because I'm pretty sure like your average person at the Game of the Year just loves them a cinematic experience.
Well,
they don't care for quality gameplay.
Let's ask the real question. Does Elden Ring have dimensional barriers?
Yes.
I could probably go and find some, yeah.
I believe it does, yes, because you enter different dimensions to fight certain people, and you don't just walk there.
Yeah, you have to summon people into different worlds.
Me and Zim were talking about this last stream, but Mangler, I really want to get your opinions on the artifacts.
Send them to me,
I already told
and you will have my opinion.
About, like, the one you were so hyped for. Oshibi Deku? Yeah, but that season finale is a very interesting choice.
Oh, yeah, you mean Vegeta versus Gogeta?
Yeah. So let's call it right now who's going to win.
That was their season finale?
No. That Vegito versus Gogeta is the season finale.
I get people. I get that there's a small subset of people who wanted that, but if you're going to do a fusion fight, there are so many better characters you could have used.
No.
I mean, you could probably still use a Dragon Ball character, but why 2 Dragon Ball characters versus...
Yeah, like, you could have used Vegito, but at the same time, you could have used, like, Omnimon from Digimon.
No, this is a matchup that's supposed to be... Well, first off...
Dude, Omnimon versus Vegeta would have been sick.
Well, the problem, it's supposed to be 3D animation, and they probably didn't want to make it as expensive as the last 3D animation they did. No offense. But the thing is, too, is that this is a pretty popular matchup for casuals.
So it's basically just going to look... You know what? Why don't I just skip this one? Because, it's going to be 3D? You mean I can just do the exact same matchup in Fighter Z, or even better, in Xenoverse 2? Fuck.
Vegito easily on scaling other than primordial promotional material? No, so this is the problem, is that...
Here's the real question. Are they sticking to canon, or are they going full composite for both? Because that's the only way you're going to get anything different.
It wouldn't change anything.
Well, kind of.
Because the problem is that you basically, like... The only way this makes sense is if you argue Vegito at the time of when he's made in Super versus Gogeta at the time that he's made in Super, rather than Vegito or Gogeta if they were made initially.
The real question is, what do you like better? Do you like the Spirit Sword or the Soul Punisher?
So, according to some people I was talking to on the server, there's a statement that Vegito is stronger than Beerus, but there's not a statement for Gogeta.
There is a statement from one of the guidebooks for Vegito, yes. It confirms that he's...
No, Zim, shut the fuck up.
I think he's at least at the level of Beerus.
Literally said he's stronger. Are you talking about difference in time when they fused? Yeah. Because the problem is that the versions of the character, Gogeta only scales to Brawly. Yeah, but the problem is, do you believe Beerus is a moving goalpost or not?
He kind of is.
Well, see, this is going to be the biggest...
The issue... Well, so the issue we have is that even if he's a moving goalpost, we have to acknowledge that there's a character in the show that actually has a statement of being comparable to him. Whereas, Brawly's only got, a maybe, and even the Supreme Kai backs up that statement as well. Is stronger than Brawly. It's not one that's just maybe
So here's my take on it. Here's my take on it, is that, Vegito is literally just called the perfect fusion between Goku and Vegeta. Gogeta is not the perfect fusion.
Okay, so the problem here is that if they're going to argue for an equalized take of when they fuse, let's just get rid of the one came first, one came later situation and just say pure equalized in terms of two equal Goku and Vegeta's fused.
Vegeta is the perfect transformation.
Yes, I would say Vegeta would take that. But if we're talking when they show up. Well, does Gogeta have Ultra Instinct or not? Because I remember that Gogeta does...
They both would. No. They both would, because they both get, So this is where it's, you can either argue... Let's say you have 2 Gokus and 2 Vegetas, and they do the transformations right then and there.
This is really going to depend.
At this very time and moment.
His comparison is when the Black Arc happened from the Mortal...
They would have Ego, and they would have Ultra Instinct.
No, okay, so this is what I'm just gonna call space spade here. It really depends on how they're gonna make this matchup happen. Are they gonna just do an equalize, they both get the same shit, or the same power, and just work off what their abilities and skills are? Or are they gonna work off of when they're fused and scale them based off of that encounter?
I don't think that's what they're gonna do. I think what they're gonna do is that they're gonna go full composite and see what each of them does across the board in different mediums.
Yeah, that's I think that's definitely possible.
Because that's the only time you can actually argue anything that's going to be, relatively different, and it's not just going to end up being Vegito is just the perfect transformation.
Well, so the issue I have with this matchup is that like if they have like an equalized scenario, it's just two Gokus, two Vegetas fusing together. Potara fusion has always been confirmed to be stronger than your standard fusion, so they would just be blatantly more powerful, even if they were stats differences. Potara fusion is just generally like better
Racist!
in the sense that
speciesist,
it's better in the
transformationist.
it's better in the sense that it lasts twice the duration and it takes half as long to recharge.
Well, actually, wait. That might make the difference. The Potara Earring fusion is only 5 minutes in comparison to Gogeta's entire 30.
No, the Potara Earring fusion is an hour.
No. In Super, it was retconned to where in their blue form, the transformation drops drastically in its time. Remember?
Did they say it 5 minutes? No. So I remember.
Are you going to argue?
They were.
Are you going to argue that's going to come? Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
No. I was just going to say they were deactivated.
They basically retconned it in Super to where the more power you have, the shorter the transformation is.
So what you're telling me is that
never mind. Then Gogeta would win.
Blue versus Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta.
So does the fusion dance? Does the fusion dance have the same weakness? I didn't see that in the movie.
No, it does not. See that's the problem. That's what I was going to say is that I knew their transformation would deactivate, but I always figured like, oh, they could just kill them before then. The problem is that like the fusion dance is explicitly shown not to have that weakness. He goes full blue and everything after the Tournament of Power.
Okay.
And he's completely unaffected.
Okay, then yeah, I'm just going to call a spade here. Now the argument has changed from who wins who to can Vegito clear it before his time is out. Well, actually, only Blue, if I remember correctly, fucked with the transformation's time limit.
The Red, we have no statements for Red, so he could technically overpower him with Red.
For anyone who's read the Super manga, does Vegito go Red or no? Because if Red doesn't fuck with him, he could just go Red.
He's never gone Red, and Red is a tenth of the level of power of Blue.
But it's faster.
So it's faster, and it's a tenth of the power output of Blue, meaning he would not be putting nearly the amount of energy that would deactivate him.
So yeah, so if he can go Red, then you can just argue he fights in Red and Gogeta fights in Blue.
I mean, he could always just use Ultra
Instinct or Ego. Let's say that this comes down to one final like ditch effort. He knows that, like, let's say that the fight's going to end in Blue versus like Super Saiyan 4. The way I see this going, he's about to run out. He stacks Kaioken.
Bro, Vegito can use Kaioken!
Oh, wait, I forgot about when you mentioned composite. I forgot that Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is a thing.
Hang on. Yes, it does. Gotenks Super Saiyan 3 drastically lowers the time limit for Gotenks. Yeah, but you have to prove that works on fucking Goku and Vegeta's transformation. Gotenks would just be trash.
Gotenks is also like a child, specifically.
Actually, wait. That's my wait. I got a question. Can Gogeta go Super Saiyan 4 naturally, or does he need the machine like Vegeta?
No.
Vegeta.
Actually, they don't go Super Saiyan 4 in transformation. Vegeta and Goku are already Super Saiyan 4.
No, they're already in Super. Yeah. They're already in Super Saiyan 4.
So,
oh my god, they might not even get Super Saiyan 4.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the way that they do it is that Goku goes Super Saiyan 4 naturally. Vegeta shows up, Bulma hits him with a Blunts Wave generator, and then they do the fusion dance. And then they make Gogeta. No. But Gogeta only lasts for about 10 minutes.
I think you could just argue that Gogeta literally... The same thing happened with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta.
Okay, so if the transformation lasts 10 minutes, then they're both on such an extreme time limit, it comes down to who runs out first.
No, Vegeta... If we say Gogeta's is 10 minutes, Vegeta's is still 5. Vegeta doesn't last... Actually, Vegeta lasts like a minute, I think, in the manga. He does not last long.
Yeah, but then the problem is that, like... Because we've seen this happen, we can literally argue he can stack, like, Kaioken and break the
according
difference.
to T-Tech, the Super Saiyan 3 is just an incomplete transformation that tired and drains the Kai of the user. That's why it happens in that form. That is true. Super Saiyan 3 is just a shitty transformation.
The Super Saiyan 3 is more so a transformation that uses the energy of Otherworld. That's where it's developed. That's where it's intended to be used.
Well,
Because it draws energy from the environment around.
No, canonically, Super Saiyan 3 is extracting the 100% potential of the Saiyan bloodline. That's what it's described as in almost every guidebook.
I understand, but you understand the descriptions of the characters give it who use it state that like it takes a great deal of energy from the environment around. Like it isn't just
Source?
their position.
Source, bro!
Like he specifically points out like I could use this for a much longer period of time in the other one.
I always attributed that just to the fact that the bodies they get when they're dead are way superior to the bodies they have when they're alive.
See, here's the problem though. Like he still had the dead body when he took the transformation.
Damn. Wait, no, he was allowed to be alive for a day.
Yeah. Yes. No. So he was allowed to be at Earth for a day. He was not allowed to be alive.
Halo. No, I think he lost the Halo for that 24 hours.
No, he does not. No, he does not.
I'm gonna look it up. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck your couch.
He specifically goes
your
up
couch.
No, he does not. No, he does not.
I'm looking it up.
He goes up there, and the announcer literally points out, "What's with the halo above your ring?" It's like, "Oh, I'm dead."
Fuck you. I'm looking it up.
Like,
okay, Majin Vegeta, fine. Let's go. This is gonna be the answer. Let's go. Where's the Halo? Oh, fuck! The Halo's on his head. Damn it. Fuck you. Fucking trash!
I'm gonna remember that. Wait, did I not find the Eternal Throne? Wow, I'm trash.
No, Super Saiyan 3 drastically lowers the time Goku had in the living world?
Yes. Because it was intended to be used in Otherworld. Otherworld is an afterlife place.
Imagine having a transformation.
He's literally in the living realm.
Get the fact checkers for Zim's ass. I checked. What the fuck are you on about, Ozra? I'm the one who fucking confirmed it.
Also, Mangler, when you have a spare minute, check your DMs. I sent you the two of them that we need.
Also, Jev, I did see your message, but we were in the middle of discussing the matchup, and I think we'll still go back to it regardless. But they've already done their research for Darksiders. They're planning to release a video on it at some point in the future. This is just scan hunting right now for the most part. But let's just say it's higher than where at least VSP puts it. Anyways,
it's not.
Okay, so then I'm gonna call right now. The matchup's gonna be determined whether or not you believe Vegito or Gogeta lasts longer. Granted, if it's equal, Vegito should be stronger because Vegito is a multiplication.
Well, actually, I got the question: would Vegito be able to use like gold destruction energy, or is that like a temporary thing?
Okay, so when you say God Destruction Energy, do you mean like Hakai? Because Goku can do Hakai in the manga, and Vegito and Gogeta should both have access to that. So there are.
I really wish this fight was not like between the two transformations. And it was like Omnimon versus one of those instead.
So this gets a little interesting. Do we assume that they even have unique abilities from each other? Like, do we assume what they demonstrate themselves?
If you go off every time they both appear, they both use different like techniques.
Does Gogeta use the final Kamehameha, or does he always use the Big Bang Kamehameha?
He uses the Big Bang Kamehameha.
Alright, so if Vegeta wins, he has the better attack?
He does have the Spirit Sword, which is a better ranged option.
Vegito has the edge because he's stronger.
And then you have to ask the question of how good is the Soul Punisher, or the
Well, does the soul crushing like ball dust even work on Vegito? The only reason it worked on Janemba was because it literally reacted to his negative energy and returned it back to him.
Using my headcanon, it will.
Using my head, you're gonna find out that Vegito cheated on Bulma, and it's just gonna be like boom.
It turns out Vegito was the worst of the other two fusions as a person.
Super Saiyan 4 using Big Bang, regular Gogeta uses Soul Punisher. So Big Bang Kamehameha Mega isn't a factor. It should be because I believe it's used in the Brawly movie, or does he use the final Kamehameha in the Brawly movie?
Is there a difference between the Big Bang Kamehameha and the final Kamehameha?
If we're being
Just
honest,
that the Big Bang Kamehameha takes like 10 million years to power up.
well, if I'm going to be honest, the final Kamehameha should Well, so this gets into the question. See, now you're not asking which one's stronger between the two. Now you're asking, is there a difference between the Big Bang and the final Kamehameha?
I'm asking you if there's a meaningful difference between any of the fucking Kamehamehas.
Okay, so
other than that this one is just stronger.
Okay, so
Or any boss in general.
this was where it gets a little complicated. If we go off the Cell arc,
Really?
the Final Flash does output more energy than he naturally can do, as none of his other attacks were working on Cell perfect, but the Final Flash did, like, destroy Cell's body, which, just to be clear, being able to do that means that the Final Flash scaled higher than Perfect Cell. So
Yes,
technically,
he dodged
it's
it at the last second.
no, I think he actually does. He dodge it or does he tank it? Because
Yes, because right before it hits him, he's like, "Oh no!" And then like you see it envelop him,
So,
but by the time he hits it, it's only blown off half of his body.
So technically, by that logic, also, can we just say how Vegeta would have ended the arc right there because Cell's like emergency protector was in his head? He's not quite like
Cell was literally like, never mind. I have second thoughts.
He just used a regular Kamehameha? Oh, that's trash. Anyways, okay, no, so the final Kamehameha should be stronger because the final Flash gathers more energy than a person can directly output normally, at least based on the the Perfect Cell interaction, which, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the Perfect Cell fight is actually the only time the final Flash is actually used. I don't think he uses it on Majin Buu.
So you're trying to tell me that the final Kamehameha may be able to output more power than the user does, and the Big Bang Kamehameha just has a bigger width on the front of the gun.
No. Because I don't even think that's how it works.
Okay, so you're basically telling me you're assuming that's how it works. In reality, you have two techniques that are similarly named that don't have any specific properties from each other that differentiates the usage of one over the other.
Yes. I think the Big Bang Kamehameha doesn't need the beam. I think he can drop the beam at any time, but that's pure speculation.
Dude, this would be so much easier if, like, they stated, "Man, this beam could, like, split into multiple and then hit you from, like, 10 different directions.
No.
And then lower your speed or something." Like, if they just gave it a description.
You want to know what the Big Bang's, like, Kamehameha should do? The first Big Bang part of the attack should break your defense, and then it should just let you take a pure Kamehameha with no protection. That would be a good attack.
You mean a durability neg and then raw power?
Yes, like it creates an opening in your fucking fighting in your fighting fucking spirit or whatever.
You mean Key?
Yeah, your Key. Thank you. Sorry, I do too much Vista and North Star. See, Kenshiro would have done a better attack.
What's the difference?
You mean the Roaring King's cannon?
Listen. The only attack we'll talk about is the Iron Palm Strike of the North Star. And the Heavenly Commander's Charge. Fuck that trash-ass fucking translation.
Also, Mangler, when you get a fat chance to take a look at the skin, I sent it to you in DM.
Next Death
Battle. I will check it out when I get to the Lord of the Bones, or no, not the Lord of Bones. When I get to the next dialogue thing with the whatever his name is, the guy, the trainer.
Actually, Pimp Demon. So I was already talking to Mangler about how I'm going to start researching the New Vegas matchup. Do you care for a specific playthrough or not? Because I'm thinking of doing a house playthrough.
Yeah. Do you? Well. Yeah. I was just gonna say, like, do you care for whether it's NCR, Yes Man, House, or Legion? Because that could determine the difference between whether or not we have another playthrough in the works.
Because, like, technically I won't talk too much detail about it, but, like, I don't care. Alright, doesn't care, we're doing a house run. Easy.
I was gonna say, I'd be willing to do the NCR run on my Fridays.
Okay, hang on. Well, I played NCR, I don't need you to do an NCR run.
Or a Legion run. 'cause
The only
you've
run I
never
have not done is
Legion.
Legion. I have not done. I've played the game repeatedly, but I've never done a Legion run. It just never interested me.
You ain't missing much.
Which is kind of funny because it's the only ending that's different from the other three.
Oh no,
Anyways,
you ain't missing much.
okay. Real question: could Death Battle GT, could DB or Dragon Ball GT Gogeta unironically scale above DBS? Okay, real talk for a minute. That really depends on how you want to scale Omega Shenron. Because you can make some whack arguments for him.
No, because so the problem with Omega Shenron is you have to go by what you know about the verse during GT.
Also, the better question is, how do you take multipliers in Tier 2? Because I don't think Super Saiyan 4 has the multiplier power of, like, fucking God form. I think Gogeta might actually, unironically, only lose to S Black or early Tower Power. Okay, so this actually depends. Isn't Brawly fucking stronger than fucking Jiren?
If you want to go by statements, yeah.
God, I fucking.
I think it's confirmed in the There's a confirmation that came out recently from, or I say recently, like the last 4 or 5 months, from like one of the producers of the show that Brawly is stronger than Jiren. I'd have to go find it.
Pretty sure DBZ Vegito / Gogeta scales to casual Beerus. Technically, we do know Beerus in the 12 universes exist in Dragon Ball GT.
Pick the real faction.
No, we do not.
I would pick
Beerus was not made until Battle of Gods, and the 12 universes weren't expanded upon until Super. That's a lie.
Fetty, I would pick the Enclave. They're just not in the game as a faction. In fact, they're not in the game in any game as a faction. You can join.
Sorry, they don't let you join the best faction. America! Fuck yeah!
Mangler, should I put Zombie World in my Shirinu in my Akashi deck? So, Azar, this depends.
No, it does not.
Okay.
You do realize Battle of Gods is part of the new timeline.
Okay,
GT's basically its own thing now.
Hang on. First, let Mangler answer real quickly so Aldrin can get his answer.
So it kind of depends. If you just want to do some link summoning, but you also want to have good disruption, if you combo that with Vampire Sucker, Zombie World is nasty because it locks out tribute summons, it messes with types and attributes in the graveyard, and it means that Vampire Sucker can be used to consistently tribute all of your opponent's monsters whenever you have to activate an effect or something. So you get free disruption and you get pluses on your turn.
Okay.
So that can be really useful for my Akashi.
Okay, so now that's done. What was talked about regarding God of War? Okay, so first off, I do remember Nello sending me something that mentions that Battle of Gods was meant to fit into GT.
It was before they decided to do Super instead.
Well, I got who the fuck is that loser? Anyways, what was talking about regarding the God of War power scaling in the XCOM stream? We didn't really talk about it too much, mainly just that with the way the cosmology seems to be shaped now, it's really kind of like you have to be incredibly generous now to scale Kratos. Anything higher, well, actually, first off, I'm just gonna say this right now, 2A's gone completely. I don't know what argument you can make for 2A. Like Infinite Multiversal is just dead in the water, unless like fucking
Infinite Multiversal, so is Low Multiversal. Universe Plus is also dead too.
All right, so Kyle, sit the fuck down, Lord Captain Blaze. Between the animation series of Z and GT, in other words, from the blank deck in between the end of the battle, much from the official and calling it part of the official history of Dragon Ball. All right, Kyle. Apparently, Battle of Gods movie is canon. So,
Fetty, does picking Caesar's Legion count as picking the cons if I enlist their help? Because they get enslaved anyway.
I wanted to ask a question about what was coming a statement about Bayo versus Dante. He has two weird ones. He has one where he says that Dante would lose because he wouldn't hit a woman. But he also has another one where he says that Dante would lose to Bayonetta because that's just the way it is in the world. And he just laughs about it. So both kind of claims imply it's because Dante wouldn't fight women. But even then, the thing about Kamiya is that Kamiya is not a credible... Well, first off, I kind of agree with Kyle on this one. When it comes to asking authors questions about who wins in a fight, their word is not valid unless they own both series. And Kamiya doesn't own DMC anymore. Hasn't done it for fucking 20 decades.
And even then, they can still be objectively wrong.
I would also like to point out, it's directly retconned by DMC3. He literally shoots Navon in the fucking chest with a high caliber pistol. Like,
I mean, granted...
Well, technically, if we include POC, he did it more than once in 3 years.
If we give the benefit of the doubt and just look at surface level scaling, Kamiya has no reason to believe Bayonetta can't beat Dante. Because most of the absurd shit came after him and also came from novels and shit.
Dante fights women? Never. Bayo.
Also, while you're talking to the Chancellor, give the scan a quick peek.
Okay. Let me see here. I
did.
What mainly killed the 2A meta? What
The
did
two-way
kill the
meta-
2A meta?
The lack thereof.
You know what?
It never existed in the first place.
Oh.
All it required was verification.
Boys, let me be neutral here. Let me handle this. Be patient.
Not a
No.
neutrality.
No,
A statement
you're
of
here.
fact.
No, you're here to Well, what's the word that people keep using? Not appease.
Quiet, fence sitter. I don't want to hear your bullshit. Anyways,
You're not fence sitting shit.
so the 2A meta for God of War, which just to be clear, was a very generous assumption from word go, was based on the idea that the tree surpassed the infinite timelines within the Well of Erd. Then Ragnarok happened.
Or that the tree was infinite in length and each of the branches transcended time and space in a context that specifically implied them being above the space and time of each of the realms.
That is true.
That was also found out to be wrong.
And so,
both
right
the
off
novel
the bat,
and fours.
the tree being infinite in size, at least based off the novel statement, is complete bullshit. And the fact that was argued for at all shows the amount of bias God of War has in its favor. Because that is a fucking simile.
Yeah, so the statement
Ragnarok
specifically...
completely destroys that notion.
Yeah,
You talk about Scott and about Needhog.
the statement specifically says that it's referring to... So it's a statement that's being made where Kratos is about... Keep in mind, he's about to step into the realm between realms. He has not stepped in there. He has not looked around. He steps into the doorway, and it says he opened the door to a mystical environment, like a tree, the tree branch stretching out to infinity. Then a paragraph later, it then confirms he steps into the realm between realms. And people have disingenuously looked at this statement from probably like a PDF or whatnot, and not looked at the actual physical copy.
Okay.
And then took that along with a picture of him walking in the realm between realms to argue this is what he's seeing.
Hang on.
And that is completely wrong.
Hang on. A PDF a PDF is not going to be any less valid than the physical copy. I know you like jerking off to your physical copies.
No. That's
be clear.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's any less valid.
You're like, it was probably a PDF.
The reason I say the PDF is that you'll notice there's a consistent pattern with people not knowing how to source information. They just get it, and when people see a PDF, they're more inclined to just scroll through things because it's more digitally available to them.
Cool.
They don't have this
Fetty, this is written, or Hasai, whatever. This is written in English first. The English is the raw.
Is that a joke?
Where's the raw? I have to fucking translate the base Latin it came from.
American. Get for him in American. Get the raw for him.
Fine.
Yeah, I'll get the raw.
While we're at it, and talking about how the meta died.
For Japanese stuff.
if we're talking about how the meta died, should we go over how
Well, hang on.
immeasurable speed pretty much
No,
perished
no,
with Ragnarok?
Because we're not
No, we're answering
hang on.
questions.
Kyle,
We're answering questions,
Kyle,
not asserting.
we're not done with the 2-8 thing yet. You can jerk off a little bit going forward. Give it some time. So going back to wait, you fucker. Anyways, so going back to the other part of the meta, the well doesn't exist the way it was claimed to, but even if you believe it did, there's a bigger problem. Because the card game got retconned out of existence. Because the fucking Nords don't care about Ragnarok, nor do they care about stopping it. So the entire premise the card game is built on is fucking, like, false. It got retconned.
Also, just to talk about the 1A tree, whenever people would talk about it and they would say the tree would transcend time and space, I brought this up to Zim, and Zim thought it was a really good point. If your tree is 1A that transcends time and space, and Thor and Jormungandr violently split the tree, then your tree should be split in all points in time. It shouldn't matter when the feat occurred. The tree should always have been splintered.
Yeah, I don't think the tree...
Or if it's a causal, it shouldn't have been splintered at all.
Well, so this is what I'm just going to say. The tree, if it transcends space and time, it's still bound to causality, which means it's bound to some form of space and time. Because otherwise, Asgard, specifically, would already be destroyed in the past, because the tree wouldn't support it anymore, because it's supposed to be acausal, if you transcend space and time.
This is why we look at the context of how space and time is used in Freya's statement, where she literally explains it's referring to the branches stretching across to cause realm travel. It has nothing to do with the tree's lack thereof or extension of space and time or its own flow of time. Okay, that's not what it's referring to.
Pimp Demon, just to be clear, the only thing I'm kind of gonna be stuck on for a bit of time with scaling New Vegas' stats and shit is just the speed. Because you can make a really stupid argument that Fallout characters are light speed, being able to react to the fucking laser weapons. But there's no cutscene, so it's kind of I have to give the best case assumption there.
Actually, when people talk about the realms having different space times in 2018, Ragnarok also pretty much destroyed that notion too.
Also, the only person who actually can affect the tree shown in Ragnarok is just Ragnarok, the Surtur fused monster. And anyone...
No one scales to him.
And yeah, basically the only argument you can make for someone to scale to Ragnarok is if you argue that blocking bits of fucking energy from the sword.
No. So I finished the game. I can tell you the context for that. That sword is Ingrid. That Ingrid has her own power, and she can deflect blows from Mjolnir.
So
that is not Freya doing anything.
So then you're saying, you would
That's Ingrid.
Okay, so would you say Ingrid just scales above everyone else? Well, to be fair, Odin doesn't destroy it, despite the fact that it is against him, so maybe it does scale above him.
Kyle, I was going to say...
and patience. Also, what Ingrid is blocking are the sparks coming off the sword being driven into Asgard, not the blast. Because when the blast actually occurs, they're dead.
I was going to say, what was his name? Atreus, can't believe I forgot. He basically, as soon as they have the portal open, he immediately pushes Kratos out as soon as the blast wave hits. And Freya's brother dies instantly as soon as the splash damage happens. So he doesn't, not only does he not scale to it at all, he's killed immediately.
Well, so this is what I'm going to say is even if you believe they do scale to it, they would be glass cannons in that tier. The same way Bayonetta's a glass cannon in her tier, unless you argue for her merged key.
And
technically, you're still wrong about
argue that they somehow scale to Ragnarok. That means you just get hard tapped at Universal because you can't prove that it destroyed the space time.
Hang on. hang on. I was asking a question. Wait, why would the tree be splintered before it got splintered? This is because of the fact that if you're acausal, you don't have a past and future version. You only have a version of yourself, and that's it.
You exist as you. You exist in the present. Like, let's say you're acausal Azra. You wouldn't have a past or a future. You would just be you.
I hate Bayonetta scalers.
If I went back in time to kill your previous version or kill you as a baby, it wouldn't affect you now. Like, it would have no effect on you at all.
I mean, I guess you could argue the tree would still be acausal if you believe its future versions don't affect its past versions, but I don't think causality's ever shown to work that way, because cause and effect is based off the idea of what happens in the past. I've never seen future acausality in fiction yet, but I'm sure it exists somewhere.
That's also not substantiated by any scans or lore, and most of them, again, are rebuked by
I guess you wouldn't need future acausality, because if something happens in your future self, it shouldn't affect the past, because you're going to get there. I guess you don't need future acausality.
One of the other things that some people in the God of War community like to argue for was the Valkyries somehow having a measurable speed.
I actually just got another guidebook today, the Greek Lore and Legends, and I saw that the context for that statement, for the Gungnir being the first to arrive on the realms, is funny because I checked all the pages involving the Valkyries. It doesn't mention how they get to the realms or anything. So I guess like the argument for them being immeasurable was just that you just assume they move through the flow of space and time with raw speed, with no descriptions or statements.
Wait.
That's not what they were arguing. What they were arguing is that they could be at every battle and every point in time.
Yes, I'm aware. That's an enormous.
When you go to see the Norns, they think it's nuts the fact that Thor can send Jormungandr back through time. But when Kratos tells them that, like, the fates can basically open portals and go back in time, that blew Mimir and Freya's fucking mind.
Cool, but can we admit, Chad, Greek superiority? I mean, when it came to the Greek cosmology, the only reason I ever said they were like weaker was because everything in the Norse pantheon seemed weaker. But that's also because I was taking the God of War power skills at their word. When I decided to look at the actual source material for 5 seconds, I realized, holy fuck, they're wrong. But I mean, I checked the entirety of the Greek pantheon and they were wrong about that, so I shouldn't have really assumed anything different here. Just because it was being written differently.
Also, as well, when you find all of the stolen artifacts in Midgard, thanks to the stolen artifacts, we know exactly how the cosmology works now, and like the final, I'm trying to think of what it's called, the final mural. We now know how Kratos got to Scandinavia, and it's backed up by the stolen artifacts. It's pretty much like game, set, and match.
Yeah, so the cosmology's fucked, but hang on, let me look at the comments real quickly. Bayonetta scalers, if you don't buy my scaling, I'm not going to buy if your scale, even though you have fucked up evidence, more legit scans than me. I don't like... Well, I mean, I have a group of people I talk to for scaling, and sometimes I'll go outside of my, like, little bubble to talk to other people. Like, I'll talk to, like, TG and K and them every now and again, because I like to get their perspective on certain things to see what the other side of the aisle looks like and what they claim.
Oh, I bet they're as quiet as the church mouse right now.
No, I mean, we had a conversation, like, I think, like, a week or two ago. I told Devil about it. I don't know if I told you guys about it.
They're just in denial, to be honest.
This is why I'm the one with the channel. Anyways... So, regarding how much weaker is Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta than Master Ultra Instinct Goku, technically he's not. Because Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta had a better feat in general. Who had a better trilogy, Lightning from Final Fantasy or Bayonetta? I'm going to say Lightning because I jerk off to her more. Chad's... Something wrong? Something wrong, Mangler? It sounded like you...
I mean, that's as honest an answer as we were going to get, but I'm so surprised I got it.
To be fair... I have not played Lightning's trilogy, but it's probably better than Bayonetta's.
Hang on. Kyle did ask me a question earlier. Kyle, I did check, and my answer to what you said was going to be patience.
I hate you.
I
You know
believe
what's
you provided
funny?
me a riddle.
Tim said the same thing, and the answer is no.
Ha!
What?
Ha! Mangler up top. Yes. Good shit.
But the patience is like the perfect answer.
Yes, exactly. Fuck this guy.
What gets smaller the more you take away? Or is that it? Or what gets smaller the more you wait for it? Patience.
Nope.
Mangler, read it again and think very hard about Kyle. Read it again.
Sats.
What?
Sats. Figure out the answer to this riddle.
No.
Don't help him.
No, you'll figure it out.
help me.
You'll figure it
Don't
out.
help him.
Do
He'll
not.
slap himself when he figures it out.
You didn't play? So, I did not play because ultimately, I ran into an issue with fucking Final Fantasy 13 1. And I see how Final Fantasy 13 2, I think, is leaving Game Pass soon, so that's kind of fucked.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's leaving Game Pass. Let me see here.
The MC4 is the answer. Guardfly Mangler.
Yeah, it's leaving 12-1.
my bad.
So if I ever play those games, I'm going to have to, buy them.
Should have realized that was the answer the whole time.
Kyle, it took me, 2 attempts or 3?
Oh, wait.
It took you... Hang on. How many attempts did it take you?
The game is contradictory to any time and space lore. They should scale above, but you always talk about the madness of it while Kratos has a tone for far crazier things.
It took you 2 attempts and you got it on the 3rd.
Ah, thank you. Come on, Mangler, get a second attempt. Come on! Alright, so he's freaking...
Hang on. I'm trying to do things.
I think Bayonetta should fight Lightning instead of Dante in Death Battle if she came back. Yeah, well, actually, if we do the Cydia scaling, that's actually not a bad matchup. At least not, power-wise. The real answer. Maybe I'll play Lightning Returns. I more or less know the story of 1 and 2. I know 1 story. I don't really know 2 story. Some people at Lightning has the same story as Cloud did. I don't know the full details of her story yet, but probably. The problem is that after... By the way, Book of Demons is accepted in VSB now. Dante now is a composite of the POC. Is now a composite of the POC. That's great. Do they accept Despair Body being composite DMC though?
Fetty, just confirm this for me. Is VSB just waiting to do all the DMC threads before they do Argo Sacks? Because I know for a fucking fact they know what his scans says. There's no way they don't know that.
What are you talking about, Mangler? I'm going to go on VSB right now, and it's going to say Argo Sacks' powers are just all of DMC, right?
Is this just like a test run? Alright, here's a
That's what I'm going to see, right, guys?
I guess it is. Why do you say it like a question? Dude, does nobody care about the shit in DMC2 for a game that carries so much of your power scaling?
I guess I would.
It's an awful lack of respect.
I guess I wouldn't be too excited either if we literally had a... Does Death Battle buy PLC? We don't know. But if they do... Well, so this is the thing. If they don't, I honestly think that'd be better. Just that way, for everybody. Because
last time I checked, they do.
Nightmare being the first tier 1 in 10 minutes is more important, Mangler. Trash.
Oh, my bad.
Garbage. Nightmare's not even the tier 1 boss in his game.
Where's Argo Despair scale? Just
either 10th dimensional or 11th dimensional.
Not even joking, ironically.
Because technically, it's not Wayne Kasai, it's fucking facts.
Actually, depending on how... If you want to say that they could fight Prime Mundus, it would actually be around 11, if not 12.
Well, okay, so this is the problem.
Guys, it doesn't work. You don't go dimensions higher because you're unfathomably stronger. You to prove a dimensional difference each time.
Yes. 10. And there's 11, actually, because Despair Embodied is stated to transcend all living things.
Oh my...
Well done, Mangler. You finally put my trap card.
Also, it would be the soul is 9D. The demon world is above that.
Wait, hang on.
Yeah, but the demon world's
Hang
not
on.
above it to a
Hang on.
dimensional
Okay.
difference. It's just above
The demon
baseline
world. No. The
constructs.
demon world does not get 10D. The demon world will at best get 9D. The question is if the fruit gets 10D. And then Argo Sex gets it all! High 1A Chen versus Virgin 11D Argo.
Wouldn't the tree get it, and then the fruit would be above
Nice
the tree?
try, Hasai. But by the time Chen got all that knowledge, he was already 75% demon, which means Argo Sex gets it too!
Wank.
Get out of here!
You could argue...
The only reason you say it's wank is because VSB hasn't decided to make a case on it. Then it wouldn't be considered wank.
Okay, all joking aside, though,
Let's be real here.
Technically, Argo Sax would be 10D because the fruit should be... When did Argo eat the fruit? That's just it. He did it because he's a fucking
Never
Chad.
did. Along with most of the Demon Kings, apparently.
Actually,
Only Moondish required the fruit of the loom.
That's individual feats. Chen High 1A statement, 11D Argo Cope. I guess Despair Embodied got that 1A statement now too because all things belong to him or her.
I don't know. There's some other things that might insinuate that characters that are in DMC2 are much stronger than Chen.
Nonsense. Crazy talk.
And I'm not talking about Argo.
Zim, stop wanking DMC. No, it's not. No. So all joking aside for a minute. So the soul would be 9D. If you believe the soul's 9D, the fruit for sure is 10D. Based off the statements in DMC5, either the raws, if you jerk yourself off to those translations, or in the official story, you can make the same argument too, it's just not as blatant. So the fruit is for sure 10D. Anyone who scales to a fruit user, this is not One Piece by the way, we're talking DMC
Mangler,
still.
do you want some help?
For the puzzle.
I think I kind of...
Basically,
I just need to
just
figure out how to
scales
open
to
that
10D.
Go back to the bomb room.
How powerful is
You
Ribudante?
you can run along the wall, and you can get to the other
I
side.
see.
Actually, the better question is, can I wank souls being 9D in the DMC reboot universe?
No. You have to prove that's the case of the DMC reboot.
No, I don't. I've been on VSB. I don't have to prove shit.
You're right, my bad. Honestly.
Would you say an apple is a bean? An apple is technically alive. Argo Sax, you transcend what? Oh shit, all living things? Damn, that's crazy, bro. That's spicy. Technically, potatoes and vegetables are alive. They can actually. They don't. I don't think they feel. I think there was a study a while back that said they did feel pain.
What the study is that if and I think it was on trees. If a tree has been hacked into, it will send out like a response signal, or plants will send out like a response signal that's picked up by other plants.
Yes. The actual. I know what you're talking about. The smell of cutting grass is actually plants warning. Is grass warning other grass that they're getting fucking destroyed.
Yeah, it's
because there's a forest in England where at a very specific time of year, they know when the insect population like starts to hatch, and they start producing like their own like bug spray.
Yeah, well, so if you ever like the smell of cutting grass, you really like the screams of your dead enemies.
which is kind of ironic because they can't do anything about it.
The same reason that if you like the smell of gasoline, you just like the smell of the burnt ashes of lesser species.
You cut out the burnt ashes of what?
Lesser species. Vegans hearing this, don't care, didn't ask.
Chaos is the father, Clyfoth the mom, Argo the son. I would change that more to Chaos is the house, Clyfoth is the plant that exists in the house, and then Argo is the person that owns the house.
We've already been over this sitcom. They're literally all just showing it as house without his permission.
But I mean, that analogy is kind of funny too. I just want VSB to accept that the primordial chaos, as they define it, is higher and superior to the demon world in a greater relationship than the demon world is to the human. Like, we literally get a statement that the Qliphoth views reality as an illusion. Like, I don't know how much, like, more clear that could have been. It's a fictitious relationship. And we have consistent statements that back up that it created everything.
You need 10 more scans to even assume that it's not a simile. Well, you know,
I swear to God, if I get that art book in 2 weeks and it states that the Qliphoth made, created, or crafted the demon world, VSB can go fuck itself.
what if it just
Or more
refers
specifically,
to
the DMC scalers on
the
VSB.
demon world as a pretend reality?
It doesn't even need to say that. Because apparently the Raw is just gospel, which it already says.
Yes, I know. I saw your argument. I saw the absolute argument you had with Neo and Fetty.
Well, what is wrong with my... Oh, that's just a different outfit I'm missing. I'm just saying it's gospel until it contradicts something you don't like.
Hang on. What happened? Actually, a good portion of the Marvel Universe scales above 10D, to be fair.
Less than you think. Ooh. Where in the hell am I going?
So, okay, let's be clear here for a minute. Let's be clear here for a very clear, brief minute. Only like 1% of Marvel's entire cosmology beats Dante. Maybe like 2%. But the overwhelming majority of Marvel characters lose to Dante.
Hey, Balrog, you love this creative commentary from Zen?
What? You mean the truth? Also, to be clear, they can hear me just fine. You fuckers can't because Discord sucks. But I'm looking at the mic setting on the stream and they can hear me just fine.
If you're not cutting out on the stream, I'm gonna laugh so hard.
There are more people that are above 10D than there is below 10D. No, there isn't.
In Marvel? No way. There's no way they've created more characters in their licensed cosmology.
Yeah, no, no. Like, Discord literally just sucks ass when it comes to my gear. It's fucking annoying.
If you're talking whether there might be more, like, individual beings, I would have to see that.
A good portion. But I don't consider a good portion to be the overwhelming majority of the characters. I would consider
most of the
a good
stories
portion to be, like, anything above, like, 20. And I'm pretty sure there's, like, 100 characters in Marvel's entire cosmology that could probably beat Dante.
Did I get the... Oh, wait. I don't think I did it.
Because you have to keep in mind is that, like, most versions of the characters, even when they're, like, amped, still don't scale to Dante anymore. Only, like, the top tier of most characters would scale to, like, being able to beat Dante. And keep in mind, I'm being generous here and just saying an AP stomp of an infinite proportion wins. Because technically, anyone in Tier 1 who's not flat out 1A, even if they're like 37-dimensional, I can make a stupid argument that Dante can just keep coming back and like kill them if they can't put him down. Wait. DC's cosmology split was accepted in VSB. Top tiers are now 1B. What the fuck?
So you're telling me that the newly rebooted DC gets whacked by the top tier of Marvel?
The Presence is now 1B? What the fuck?
Oh boy.
Oh,
that's interesting.
That's fucked.
Tell me that, are you telling me that the Hulk that fought the one below Hulk can now be like CUNY cosmology?
Dude, yeah, the Hulk could beat the one below all, or could.
Wait, do you remember when we were talking about Hulk versus Doomsday?
Yes.
We walk that right the fuck back now?
Not yet. Hang on. Maybe they're wrong. What's one?
Wait, when in the fuck was your average Doomsday gonna beat your average Hulk, though?
Dude, I would say your average Doomsday beats your average Hulk 9 times out of 10.
Get it, Mangler?
Come on.
Um,
Fight me.
Get the hell out of here.
Alright, then prove it. Show me your 50 years of comic scans,
All right,
bro.
so his entire physiology is just based on adaptability.
Yeah, you're right. Doomsday's
Like-
his. You're absolutely right. Couldn't agree more.
No, I mean like his scaling is kind of garbage.
Hang on.
He gets killed so many times.
Before we have this discussion, 1B is just anything that's infinitely above your standard dimensions, but doesn't exist outside of dimensionality. 1A
Wait a minute.
is what's considered being outside of the concept of dimensionality.
Wait a minute. Did I not do this correctly?
Who in Marvel
There's no
can
way.
beat Dante? Okay. All of the 1A characters should beat Dante, unless, of course, I wank him to SMT. Then nobody beats Dante.
I was gonna say you're gonna have to go to DC to get like 1A characters that can beat him at that point.
So, look, SS Superman is not liked by VSB itself. Lame. So, the one above all should be able to beat Dante. Anyone who can scale the one above all should be able to beat Dante. Maybe the Beyonders?
Beyonders are 1A.
Are they 1A? Or are they just fucking hot? Or are they just 1B?
It's weird because the pre-retcon Beyonder shows up and it's like, oh, this is nothing like my dimensions of which I reside, which are infinite. But then like,
Okay, so... Or Tier 1 DC, aside from some entities. Why the fuck do people dislike Tier 1 DC? Tier 1 DC makes sense for the presence. Okay, I'm just gonna say this.
Tier 1 DC makes sense for
Any
the
of
cosmology.
the god tiers, the Beyonders are low 1A. They should still win then. If they're 1A, they should still beat him. God Emperor Doom should beat them. Should beat him. Molecule Man, a full power Living Tribunal. Well, actually, hang on a minute. Where's Living Tribunal scale now?
Below other stronger 1A characters, but
Well, is he
yeah,
still
he's
1A or is he
low.
1B now? Because I saw those Beyonders beating the living shit out of him.
He's still low 1A.
Rune King Thor?
Wait.
Why would Rune King Thor beat him? Also, Franklin Richards, I don't think scales that high up.
No, Rune King Thor only gets to like 5D at best.
That was, and right now bodies him. Well, so, okay, so if he's still at full power, Dante should be able to beat the Celestials. He beats most of the Celestials.
easily.
Yeah, he beats like most of them. I think there's like 2 or 3 that he might not beat, but those
There's
are
like maybe
outliers.
one. It's that one weird one. I think it was it Exitar or whatever, whichever one sealed away Protege.
Listen. There's probably
one
like
might-
2 to 3 Celestials that could maybe beat Dante, but most of them just get destroyed outright. Honestly, I'll give a hot take here. Dante beats fucking Null. He beats Null, so he beats most Celestials. Null doesn't scale that high.
Yeah, Null's like 2A, 5D at best, and Dante without POC beats that. Go ahead,
Bruh.
Kyle.
And Dante beats Safe Space.
Damn. Does Safe Space even have a comic out?
I have no idea.
No. The fucking story got canceled. What about Gore?
Gore scales below Null. So if you think he
Gore
beats
scales
Null, he
above
definitely beats
Null,
Gore.
yeah. Zarathos? So there was this one guy last stream, I don't think he's here right now, but there was a guy last stream who claimed that Ghost Rider was able to become stronger than the one above all, or at least comparable to him, and that would scale Zarathos. So, unless Zarathos is weaker than his hosts, that's going to be up in the air. I can't confirm that. Someone's leave a comment.
Would probably
Someone
say
delete
you
the
need
comment.
to fact check that in
Someone-
general,
Who
because like
deleted the comment? T-Tech, you son of a bitch.
Mangler, you seem lost as fuck. You've already got the
I
horn.
am
Go
very lost. Do I have the horn? Wait,
Yeah, you grab the horn.
did I?
I sensed it in my soul. I sensed someone deleted the
No, no,
comment. and my
Kyle, you
soul
keep
revealed
cutting
the
out.
truth. He's saying go
Zim,
back.
Shut up. I have to ask him something. Kyle, are you saying that I grab the horn or I need to grab the horn?
You've got it. Go back up.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
What about
Sorry,
Snowflake?
Zach.
Damn,
Just need to confirm that.
fine. So look. All of the super god tiers of both. Well, actually, if fucking DC doesn't get 1A, I can argue that even like Canon Dante will survive DC's like god tiers long enough to beat him.
That is such an absurdly stupid argument.
Thankfully, I can make it. Cops who arrested Thanos in Darkseid versus DMC. Oof. Well, actually,
yeah, that's a tough one.
Well, Darkseid only scales to 1B now, so I guess Dante beats him. And base Thanos is trash. I don't even think base Thanos scales to null.
Base Thanos scales to like Galactus consistently, or slightly above him.
That's wrong. Base Thanos consistently gets his ass beat by Galactus. It's just that Thanos usually has like technology.
So I'm typically referring to like your 2010s versions of Thanos.
Okay, well I'm just gonna tell you right now that 9 times out of 10, if Thanos looks at Galactus, Galactus is blowing his ass up.
It's probably true. I think they confirmed that where he sits in the power of the cosmological hierarchy is somewhere in the Skyfather range.
We're talking about below the real Thanos scaling. You're right. Let's talk about why Thanos was right all along. So, first off, population
You're not even talking about the same Thanos here.
First off, population issues. Need to get rid of them. Cut them in half.
First off, we're not even talking about the same person anymore.
Okay, fine. All right. Let's talk about the real Thanos scaling. How hard is it to get some pussy?
Damn it, he's right. You guys were talking about base Thanos. Right now, you're trying to shift the conversation to base Thanos.
My apologies, you're right. Hang on.
That's so nice. I give you a clap, but both of my hands are on
Vertigo
the controller, so
on the DC split got the L. They are barely above 5D. Okay, Hasai, can you send me the link to what happened to DC? Like, when did DC get rinned?
Wait, what the fuck happened to, like, Lucifer Morningstar then?
Also, hang on a minute. I don't know where Galactus scales to at his highest form. However, Ozra, regarding Squirrel Girl's gag, Dante, as far as I know, Dante can't beat gag characters at the moment, but self-actualization's a bitch.
Give it time.
Neo's server, I don't want to look at Neo's server. I like Neo, but his server is full of a lot of suspicious things. It's like, if I walk in there, I'm going to take
related to hentai.
Bro, I'm going to have to walk in there and I'm going to take a shower after I get out. Just send me the link.
Maybe you should have a conversation with him about that, perhaps, if it bothers you so much.
No. It's his server. He can do what he wants. He only brings some of the weird shit here every now and again. He can do what he wants in his own server.
Million memes.
Yes, I mean his quote-unquote memes, but his meme is a daughter getting fucked by her dad. Call me a little suspicious, but that doesn't feel like a meme.
Dude, I don't know where to go. What the hell?
Go down to the ground and put the horn. Put the second horn into the statue.
So here's the thing. I mean, Zim, you're not that different. I am very different. I am a wholesome.
Oh yes.
I am a wholesome YouTuber who commissions only the most wholesome of designs and drawings. I
had to death grip it. That's why.
Can someone hit Weekly from VSP on the head? The motherfuckers were, no, Cypher. No, bad. Do not call for violence. It's not his fault that he thinks Bayonetta is strong and everything.
I don't think hitting Weekly in the head would change his opinion. He's very stubborn.
Okay, regarding King Thanos, that's a version of Thanos that's stronger, but on average, Galactus beats Thanos 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, like the old King Thanos literally killed everyone in the main Marvel universe.
Old King Thanos even subjugated the Hulk, which makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, like he beat him. I believe he killed. Well, he killed all the cosmic entities in his universe, which included Galactus. Well, at that time, I believe Galactus was alive, and he worked together with Cosmic Ghost Rider at the time, and they showed up to fight Thanos, and then Thanos one-shot Galactus, and then was like, "Oh, I would kill you, Ghost Rider, but like apparently you're unkillable, so you're just gonna join me now." And he's like, "Okay, whatever." I think at the time, technically, Ghost Rider was actually the Punisher. He just kind of gone a little bit crazy from like wandering around the end times on Earth. But yeah, that was a weird story.
That's why Cypher, but Bayonetta 3 goes well and truly out of its way to show that existence duration puts the boost.
I'm pretty sure Weekly would just argue that it's just like she can override causality to come back from that, and I'd just be like, okay, Dante can kill beings that exist outside of causality and negate their resistance to negate the regeneration that allows them to survive existence erasure. So even your incorrect statements are completely beaten by just canon versions of Dante that aren't wank. What would I know, though? Okay. Do I have to... Yeah, no, I'm going to have to go all the way inside, grab probably a gem of some kind, and then I'll have to redirect the beam back here. Assuming I can even get across. Can I even get across? I don't even think I can get across.
He doesn't buy High Godly Region DMC because, well, someone disagreed on Bayo coming back from existence erasure. The difference is that, well, like, Bayonetta, how she came back makes no sense. It's also never explained.
Okay.
Cypher,
There's
yes,
no statements
that
or
is a
information ever
slur,
given.
technically.
Hang on, I'm going to speed this up. Mangler, go.
Okay, there we go. So slightly better now.
I was going to say, you could also go to the bridge and grab
The bridge?
Yes, go back to the bridge and use the bridge.
I don't remember seeing a death grip area.
No, okay, so go back to the top and use the death grip to grab the bomb that's on the bridge.
Oh, I feel so dumb. That was so simple. My brain hurts now.
Cypher, they're never going to make a G1 blog the way they did about DMC simply because of the fact that Bayonetta's scaling chain is vastly more clear and blatant than Dante's is. Like, you can't debate singularity not being multiversal. It literally says it. Alright, guys, I'll be right back.
Now, where is another stone? There should be one more back here. Okay. Perfect. I'll get to that later. Oh, what's over here? So way back. Oh, wow. I should not have hit that. That was a mistake, as they say. Where is the thing?
What are you
Oh, that's right. I am looking for. Oh, is there even anything over here? Oh. Wow, nothing. That's kind of trash.
The only anti-feat you can argue for Singularity is he destroys the universe based off killing the Bayonetta, but he still absorbs that power into his final form. Like, Bayonetta for sure now has confirmed canonical hardcore super baby easy 2A scaling. It'd be super weird if anyone argues against it.
Oh, there we go. We're over here now.
That's enough for the G1 blog. What G1 would argue is that the only version of Singularity that scales to the multiverse are the final versions of him.
Whether or not
Bayonetta
they
can't
ended up,
heal. She
whether
directly
or not
has
they
a
would
healing
make an
factor
argument
now.
about. Oh my god, what the fuck is wrong with this call?
It's not getting collected.
Finally. Connection's back.
Good. The argument for DMC not being FTL and Yamaha not having Duraneg for Nero has it. Is it mid-region? Technically, we only see Bayonetta heal her body. We have no evidence she can heal beyond that. Unless you argue it was her healing factor that brought her back from being erased, but that's never proven.
You just assume that, basically, on the basis of no evidence. Like, if you argue that, you have to assume it on the basis of no evidence. Which is, like, not a position you want to have. Oh, wait. I gotta get this over here.
Yeah, it's just kind of fucked overall.
Let's do this over here. Roll back over. Pick it up that way. Ooh.
Yamato itself is Duraneg. Why would they assume it's not Duraneg? They just usually argue based off fucking Lady's rocket launcher. That's a popular argument for why it's never Duraneg.
Yep. No context needed. Not necessary.
As far as I know... Oh, actually, wait. Doesn't Credo's shield block Yamato in the book?
It blocks energy slashes from Yamato.
That's
Like,
probably the other reason they
maximum
argue
bet.
for it then. Although I don't think they mention it.
Yeah, it literally blocks maximum bet, which is a fully charged slash from, like, Max, Excalibur, Red Queen, and Yamato together. So it's not even like your standard slice. It's like the strongest attack in his arsenal, sword-wise. Outside of, like, an enhanced bring your grab.
So that's probably
am I
why
not?
they argue for it.
Where the hell? I literally see it opening. Ugh. Good lord. This is not. Like, maybe there's a. No. Ugh. What the fuck? Are you unironically telling me it was working the entire time, but I had to leave the room for it to work properly? What the fuck? That's so dumb. I'm so angry. Wait, can you guys still hear me? Or did I cut out? Hello? Chat, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, we can hear you. I'm just using the restroom still.
Okay, people are just quiet.
Well, you mean Kyle? Because Kyle's the only one here?
Yes.
If Death Battle does Dante Ceballos, she's going to win. Yeah, I 100% agree that she'll win that Death Battle based off their research. Without POC, where's DMC's region sitting? Technically, off Nello Angelo, you can still argue for high godly, I think. Or at least low godly.
Well, so this depends on if you just want to define like high godly as 4 different aspects of the existence. Given the English translation for 3's manga, and like the anime, you can already confirm the name still exists within the soul because it's confirmed that the soul contains the power of the demon, which means it would contain its name because names are a demon's power. So if Virgil is able to regenerate after he has his name destroyed and his body and his soul, then yeah, that would be a high godly regen feat. It's also confirmed that before the nightmare that the soul contains your mind and your memories, because that was always information that was in DMC. So yeah, like POC technically doesn't give us high godly; it just makes high godly explicitly blatant, and then just tries to like cap it behind like mid tier, high tier, and god tier. Or mid-tier, high-tier, and top-tier demons.
No, the problem is that I'm pretty sure both Death Battle, because G1 fucking hates high scaling DMC, but G1 block, I'm pretty sure Death Battle doesn't like scaling Dante too high either.
God damn it! I hate that you're cutting on Discord. So sad.
All fucking POC does is just make everything super fucking blatant for people who like needed that shit.
So people who didn't like scale it really, which is great, you know, if you're kind of new to DMC, but if you've been here for years and you needed that's not good for you. That's actually very bad for you because that means that you probably didn't know what you were talking about.
Hey Samaj, you're graduating from college? Good for you, mate.
I don't mean that in like an insulting way. Like if you had to be told the regeneration was like that good, you were not paying attention to blatant statements. If you had to be told like, you know, fucking Nightmare can destroy the demon world, I'm sorry, you were not paying attention. Some of those statements were very, very in your face.
I went to have a shower for 2 seconds, and you're picking fights with chat. What the fuck happened?
Picking fights with who?
I literally went to take a shower for 2 seconds, and you started a fight with chat. What the fuck happened?
I don't think I started a fight with chat. What are you talking about?
He did.
No, I didn't.
Uh-huh.
Does anyone argue with me right now?
Prove it. Source.
Okay. Are people arguing with you, or are you saying, can you point to anyone that could prove to be an argument for this?
No. I mean, is anyone even arguing with me right now? Like, if I was starting a fight, I would assume someone's arguing with me, but I don't think anyone's even responding to what I said.
I just hear you giving somebody the what for about if you have to be told something you weren't listening.
No, so that was in relation to what Zim was saying when we were talking about like just like what difference POC gives on Demon's regen. And I was just saying like for POC it just helps you if you don't scale DMC, which is fine. It's just if you've been around here for a long time and you haven't and you didn't know a lot of the information in the scans, actually, that's not
after
good.
The stream, if you're not too tired, there is a healing factor discussion I want to have with you, but only after the stream's over.
Sure. As soon as I'm done being set ablaze by these losers. I got all the power of the abyss, and that's still not enough to save me from getting stabbed. He's arguing with me, Kyle? We have a volunteer. All right, do we design it? Ooh. I guess most of the POC statements for Pluto are some of the only things that are for overall DMC. I don't know if I understand that question. Not sure how anyone will not buy Infinite Size Demon World. Yes, Mangler won't play DMC4. Kyle is damn right. Wow. I didn't even know I was having a conversation with Samaj, but apparently, according to Samaj, I was having a conversation with Samaj. Damn.
It tends to happen.
I know. And it always involves DMC4 for some reason. Crazy. They can always just ignore person tiers if they disagree and can use word of God statements. DMC4 exists on a cosmic scale. Oh. Steelcross, what are you referring to when you say plural? Like, I don't know if I understand your question exactly. You might need to rephrase it a little bit better. A little bit better. Perhaps. For those of you who are watching and wondering why I might not be getting the Book of the Dead scans, it is because when I do this run, which is going to be 100% completion for its, like, for scans and whatnot, I am going to go back near the end of the game and just grab all the Book of Demon scans. I'm going to grab every single one of, or not Book of Demons, Book of the Dead scans. I'm going to grab every single one of the Book of Dead scans, and I'm going to go to every single, like, place. I'm going to have a list of them all, and I'm just going to, like, try and speed run them all in one stream. It'll be, like, super easy. Mostly. Because I didn't grab a single one during this entire playthrough. I specifically missed all of them, so they're all in the exact locations that they should be. So none of this, oh, I'm missing one singular piece of the Book of the Dead, and I'm gate kept out of the fourth vault. Which was... Oof, that made me so angry. You know, aside from the fact that my level got capped and I was unable to finish the freaking Crucible. Kyle, do you know what that feels like? You're level capped. The game's just like, you're not good enough.
I finished the Crucible.
Yeah, it must be nice.
Feels pretty good, yeah. Can't complain.
I don't know if I want to go for Arcane. I love Reflect. Reflect is so good, though. Arcane Critical Chance, but I don't care about Arcane Critical Chance. Last guard. Probably don't need Aegis Guard all that much. Where's Marcus Kane Dean regeneration at? Low mid or mid high? I don't remember Dean regenerating from like a pool of blood. Must have slipped my memory. Probably low mid.
He's
I'm
turned
pretty sure low mid. Yeah. Yes, he has. I think just regenerating from your typical stab wounds to the sections, depending on what they affect, if it's like slight edges and whatnot, or shoulders, things like that, anything that's like not super lethal, it's usually low mid. If it's lethal ones, it could qualify for low high. Kind of depends on certain internal organs, because some of it could be mid low, but that's where you get into like really super specifics on regeneration. Most people generally agree on what regeneration is once you get to mid, but everything below that's very murky, very subjective. Alright, maybe if I just jump up here. Oh yeah. Skills. No! Nobody saw that. Didn't happen. No skill issues. If Ifedi's still here, tell him there were no skill issues. He saw nothing. Kyle, I am in need of assistance.
Hold on. The smartest man alive is coming. I'm just your man hanging off
Fuck
your
you.
hip. I'm on my way, brother.
Yeah, get your Bifrost ass eyes over here right now. I need assist.
You're talking about my brother, me, and the man with the black eyes.
Skill issues.
I am Kumir, the man with the Bifrost teats.
Smartest man alive, yet you got coped by this freaking one-eyed, this cyclops of an old man for like what, 100 years?
109. So do you
I
need
was
help
gonna say
getting down or getting up?
I am definitely trying to get up. There is not a ladder or anything I can use.
Have you tried?
No.
Have you tried running up the wall and not the center bit?
I've tried that. Trying to run left. Yeah, that does not exactly turn out well for me. Wait, I got an idea.
Here you go. See if you can jump, like wall jump your way to the top.
I'm probably gonna have to do that, yeah. Unfortunate.
Because I remember there's one of them where you have to do that.
This one, from what I remember, is pretty annoying.
So after I get the statements for the stag, I think I'll be pretty much done with Ragnarok. Because other than that, the only thing I'll be missing truly are like the Berserkers, but they don't really give anything like noteworthy. And then there's Gnar, but I'm not good enough to beat Gnar, so that's kind of like
Sounds like someone else's problem. Yeah, it's fine. As long as you got the statements for the Stags and Nihog together, we're good.
What did you think of the Maya mask?
That's just silly. You know, when people talk to me about God of War being tier 6 is like kind of crazy for me to say that. I'm just sitting over here like, yeah. You know what else is kind of crazy? The fact that there are no dimensional barriers between the pantheons.
No, you know what's crazy is the fact that Mamiya looked at the Aztec pantheon and was like, shit, that looks like a pretty cool place to chill. I wouldn't mind visiting there. Because all of the stolen artifacts are written from his perspective.
I'm aware.
Oh no, you're aware. Not everyone else though. Because they're going to assume, because it's a codex entry, they're going to assume that it's Kratos who wrote it.
I mean, even if it was Kratos, why would it make a difference? Like,
I think the stolen artifacts are pretty much like the last bit that we needed on top of like the over 100 and something statements of them talking about walking to different places to basically like drive home the point. This is how your cosmology works. I'm sorry. Directors can say something different in the future, but one statement isn't going to rectify all of this wall of evidence.
I'm just gonna fast travel out of that location because I don't know how to get in there, and I'm gonna walk back in from the other side like a baller. By the way, does the Book of Demons have death manipulation? It does. It has death manipulation via the Banshees because they can just kill you by screaming.
You can also use the Fallen Priest, but that's a little bit more spicy.
That's not really death manipulation. That's more just existence erasure on a complete and total level.
Yeah, more spicy death manipulation.
I'm sorry, but like I think death manipulation is a bit of a different utility than existence erasure does. Because you can kill people who are resistant to existence erasure with death manipulation, and vice versa. You can be really silly. Argue some stupid nonsense.
No, it's just going to be really fun being the unpopular boys again. You start doing those Ragnarok videos.
Were we ever like anything but the unpopular people? Apparently, the unpopular people who could never be refuted. Coincidentally enough. I don't say that as like a badge of honor or anything. Like no one to this day, no one has provided a refutation video to any of my claims. They just kind of left it alone and were like, I hope it doesn't get any attention, which is the exact opposite of what happened with it.
I still remember TG and K and all of them saying that they were going to make a response video to that basically 6-hour evidence for why Dante vs. Kratos doesn't work, but that seems to have not ever eventuated. Maybe they just couldn't get scheduling down together.
I mean, to be fair, we did have some projects that we claimed were gonna start, but we didn't come around to it. But we explained why that was. We gave an explanation for why certain things exist the way that they did. I've heard no such explanation from ye old God of War villains over there. Which is what I might call a skill issue. That would make every low baller's charge its candidacy. Oh. So, do you see Donkey's God of War video that might boost it to Game of the Year? Nope, I don't really watch Donkey. People tell me what the Book of Demons is and what it does. Yeah, so it's basically a book that transforms the power of demons into literal data. And then the person who's holding this, if they're able to resist the power of the book, because the book also chooses its wielder, will gain the powers and resistances of, like, they'll literally gain the everything of the demons that are contained within it, which will also give data on those demons as codex entries. It's literally like a codex that gives you powers and abilities, like the raw power of the demon, along with all their powers and abilities.
Why did I come back and just started hearing immediate wink?
I'm explaining what the Book of Demons does.
I heard turning into data. That's fucking crazy, bro. It's literally just name absorption.
That's what it.
It's literally just name
That's
absorption.
what it does.
Literally wink. How? Why is chat letting you get away with this wink? Chat, come on now. Chat, you got to keep him in check. You know he gets a little crazy at times.
It states that it turns it into data. What do you want about it?
Source? Give me the official English translation. Source?
Damn. No, I thought you wanted the raw, because that's the only thing that matters, right?
Not in this lifetime. Source?
No. See, the raw's being fine. It's only fine until we get an official translation, and then it's the official translation doesn't say this one-to-one, therefore it's not valid. Even though, the raw should be the only thing that matters, but I guess it's only a case-by-case basis, I suppose.
Source, please. Oh yeah, I need to start buying the Viz Media releases of Fist of the North Star. They are already up to book 9.
What do you need to buy?
I need to buy the physical copies of Fist of the North Star. They're currently on book. They're gonna hit up book 9 in June. Which actually, there's only 13 books, so that means I think everything up to maybe probably pre-Kaio Final Fight has been translated, which is fucking sick. Guess I got what I did.
The Chinese Raw is like the only evidence I will accept. I mean, you can accept both. We typically just accept the official translation as the standard. We just simply use the Raws as supporting evidence.
Alright, Newhan, you ready to do this? Oh.
This is generally when someone comes up to us and says, like, I only accept the Raws. It's like, well, okay, but like,
well, you can accept this
you
raw
realize
dick in your mouth.
I just tell them, you realize you kind of have to argue that the official translation is not valid when it's made by the company who created the work or the source material that you're even having the discussion about. So I kind of have to argue if you're being a little bit unreasonable.
Nonsense. Alright, I will, Newhan, don't worry. I'll talk as usual. Anyways, yeah, no, so I finally sat down and forced Mangler to go through my other side, power scaling evidence. So now I can just go full steam ahead with that script.
It has received
It has received literally a second pair of eyeballs, and that is all it has received.
Yes. It has received some approval. Is ready to go.
Yeah, no, so I can finally just start writing that down and scaling all that shenanigans, so that's fun. Freedom at last to take care of that. And now that Kyle's free from his fucking shackles of Ragnarok, now he can also begin work on his actual projects.
One more side quest and then I'm free.
What? Kyle, you're
What are you
still...
even doing?
Mangler still wants the stags.
Damn.
No, I thought you got the stags.
No, I don't have the fucking stags.
Damn. Well, never mind.
That's unfortunate.
How do those chains feel, Kyle? Because they just keep getting wider.
Hey, you guys can piss off. I literally had to script the entire miscellaneous section. Don't fuck yourself.
Did you finish that scripting?
No, because its entire script is probably larger than any fucking amount of work you could ever do on any project.
To be fair, you chose this path for yourself.
I know, but I chose it because I have no choice.
Then keep walking and shut the fuck up! Oh, my neck. Oh, that hurt my throat, actually.
Wait. Shouldn't there be a device I can put on this? Yeah.
Was one win come for lightning against Bayonetta? Technically, Bayonetta's healing factor can be taxed out, and also if you can hit the soul, you should be able to kill Bayonetta. That being said...
If you,
Oh.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'll say that being said, we don't... Also, actually, Bayonetta just got a massive weakness in Bayo 3. If you break her watch, her soul will, her powers will die.
She has two massive weaknesses. So one of them is existence erasure. The second one is magical depletion. So if you destroy the center of her magic power, basically, like either her Umbra Clock or how she produces or controls her magic power, you essentially get put in a position where, or she gets put in a position where her demons, if they're being summoned currently, or even if not, will either drag her to Inferno or will attack her and knock her soul out of her body, at which point she'll be dragged to Inferno.
Yeah.
So if she has a demon out, which during the fight she most likely will, they will just attack her. And it will be completely unprovoked, and she won't be expecting it, because consistently in the canon, multiple different versions of Bayo have had this happen to her. And each time it has resulted in a Umbran Witch, either Jean or Bayo, getting knocked out of their body in a single strike. So it is a consistent weakness. Oh, there's also, you can also fight her underwater and she'll drown. At least Bayo 3 Bayo and Bayo 1 Bayo. Bayo 2 Bayo doesn't. Bayo 2 Bayo has the ability to breathe underwater.
So why is Mangler going to help
Loki.
you with the New Vegas thing? He's not. I just asked him for any feedback because I know he's a bigger Fallout fan than I am, and I was just curious if I had to research.
And
the
I was
power
like,
armors.
let me tell you.
The real question I had was whether or not the power armors got retconned in 4 or not. I just wanted to know that ahead of time to plan things out. And he told me that apparently 4's power armor is a different power armor. I don't believe him. I think he's lying to me. So I'm going to check that anyway.
It's the same model. It's just more advanced.
Source?
It's literally called the T60.
Source, please?
And it has better feats.
Source? Man, I'm hearing a lot of no sourcing.
Do you play the game?
So, yeah, no. But all the actual scaling will like more or less be done by me since like New Vegas is a small game and thankfully there's no novels behind it and I've literally played New Vegas like 30 different times over. He did help me plan out the routes a little bit, but that was just like
he says small game as I finish my totally committed hunter cannibal hardcore build, saying what the fuck, man, this takes forever.
Find out about the kill skins when they did give me a Sentinel Graves in one box. I immediately rolled it for Rams giving because I can't stand the beard saucy baka. Anal. Zim, where's your sources? Bro, I am the source.
He's the thing that Darkseid wants to get through. Alright.
Yeah, no. So that was more. So I just want some feedback on that situation regarding the power armors. But again, I played New Vegas so fucking consistently that like I know more or less all of it. Even without
my source is that I made it the fuck up.
No, Newhin, that skin is not legendary. That skin was epic, and it gave every Kale main a negative boner that day.
Would turn on Bayonetta.
Yeah, Madama Butterfly would turn on Bayonetta, technically.
Oh,
You'll be
that's what he was asking. Later, Kyle. Oh, he left. Man, this Discord connection is not great.
No, I think he's
He keeps cutting people off. I have summoned the arena's champion, who is just a giant rock snake.
You can't kill what you can't kill. Can the Colt gun kill Bayonetta? Maybe.
Probably not. I have to relook at the Colt to make sure what it is. Because if it's death manipulation, you could argue it could kill her. But she'd also just dodge it, because she's vastly faster than the Colt. Like, she'd be perceiving that bullet as if it was moving in slow motion.
So you're saying the Colt gun's not unstoppable?
I'm saying, the only reason she's fast because fucking enemies in the verse don't feel the need to dodge it or don't have the feats to.
Lies.
And then they're like, oh, fuck.
I do not watch Supernatural, so I don't know what the Colt gun actually is. I thought it was like a special, like...
It is a gun that is stated to basically kill anything. And the... well, so what it does is you just shoot it anywhere on the body and it just basically kills that person. And Lucifer, after he's shot with it point blank in the face, basically says, where the fuck did you get that gun? And then he, in typical Lucifer fashion, force pushes Dean across the room and is like, wow, Dean, that's pretty powerful, but, you know, there are 5 things in all of creation that gun can't kill, and it happened to be one of them.
You'd think they would have put fucking the actual rule there that it can't kill certain things.
The books may elaborate on it. Maybe. But I'm also just assuming that.
It doesn't work on Angels and Leviathans?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't work on. Well, probably Leviathans. It wouldn't work on God, or Amara, or maybe the Darkness. Or no, God or Amara, or like Death. It doesn't work on Archangels, but it would definitely work on Angels because it works on the Princes of Hell who scale above your basic Angels.
Well, maybe it's a physiology
There's no way,
thing.
like
Maybe it just doesn't kill like actual angels. Doesn't matter about power.
I mean, that would genuinely surprise me. It's made from the ashes of a phoenix. The only phoenix in the show that doesn't have any feats other than getting, killed by the... Well, actually, hang on. I'm trying to remember how that actually happens. My memory's a little bit hazy.
I was like, because every fucking time we do a stream, I hear the cult gun being mentioned. I just never realized what the fuck it was.
Yeah, so the Colt is like the weakest, like, one-shot weapon in the series. It used to be the one-shot weapon in the series up until like season 5, and then along came the first blade and the equalizer, and I guess Death's Scythe. Well, Death's Scythe was just a little bit more hacksy. Because Death's Scythe can basically reap everybody, including Death himself. And everybody does include God, technically.
Debatable.
So, well, at bare minimum, that would include all the Archangels, the Leviathans.
I mean, I guess it's better than whatever you had before. Fine, but like it's debatable if that includes God after what happened.
And, well, so then the first blade is like literally has the power of Amara within it. So, because it's just the darkness manifested as a blade in physical form. And then the equalizer is literally just God's power, which fires a portion of your soul into a target. And whatever's... well, when I say when it fires a portion of the soul, it fires your soul into the thing, which will kill you instantly, but will also kill whatever's on the opposite side of that thing. And it's much higher grade than the cult. Because God was like, yeah, no, this thing can kill Jack. And Jack is like a Leviathan. Or not a Leviathan, he's a Nephilim. Which is way stronger than the Archangels. To the point where Chuck is basically considers him a threat, or that he's going to become a threat. To threaten God. So God's like, yeah, I need to make a plot device-based weapon that's a one-shot kill move. To have it, like, kill this man. Otherwise, yeah. I'm going to, have some problems later on.
And he did.
Yeah, well, when he was shot, like, the statement was backed up by something. When he was shot, Sam ended up firing a piece of his soul into Chuck's body, because it wasn't meant to be used against Chuck, and as a result of it, Chuck was weaker. So it was one of the only things in the series that could not only, like, damage Chuck, it power nulled him, partially. And Amara and everyone else also confirms this. To the point where he can't use, like... Well, go ahead.
How the fuck does Sam actually fucking, like, use the thing without killing himself?
Because it hit God. So if it had hit anyone that it would have killed, basically the way the gun works is that if it kills the person, it kills you too. Or at least, that's what Chuck said it does. But remember, Chuck's also technically a writer and a liar. Because, like, Chuck's kind of like Odin, though he's a little bit more reliable in the sense that he tells the truth when it's necessary to tell a story, sometimes. But it depends on what his angle is, because the entire thing is literally being written as a plot. Like, he's writing the entire story. So, whatever's the most interesting outcome for him is the one that he talks about. And he's literally eagerly waiting for Dean to kill Jack. And Sam's like, you enjoy this, aren't you? He's like, shh. Don't stop. Shokamara 3 Angels. That's like, could Death Scythe kill Bayo? If we consider its potency, it can affect tier 2 beings. And considering what it does kill in the verse, with it just also having like soul hacks and death manipulation, it probably could kill Bayo. There's a lot of weapons in Supernatural and powers in Supernatural that could kill Bayo. It's just a matter of would they kill Bayo, or rather, a lot of moves that would kill Bayo. It's a matter of could they. Like, could anyone in Supernatural probably hit her? And my guess is probably no. I don't think anyone in Supernatural is fast enough to catch Bayo.
That kills Kratos. Kratos, I think, doesn't have death resistance, yeah. Or unless you want to argue about the fucking like daughters of Aphrodite, but I don't believe that's resistant to death manipulation.
So
yeah, I didn't even know that was good shit, right?
Hang on. What if I drop kicked the bullet of the cult gun and lived? I don't know what that means. I don't think they count Death or because of the Darkness, because they are. No, they would, because Death, God, and the Darkness are all considered completely separate beings. And they're also beings that people know. Well, if you don't want to count the Darkness, then it would just include Leviathans, Archangels, Death, and then, like, probably, like, one other thing.
Could the
like, maybe Nephilim.
Could the bone knife kill Bayo?
The first blade?
That depends on if you think Amara scales AP wise, because if the first blade's just Amara's power, then that means you can AP beat
Yeah,
it.
if it's just Amara's power, which it doesn't seem to have any special properties, like it literally, its win con is stab the person directly in the heart with it, which that's mainly because like how they kill fucking like angels and demons is that they stab them at a vital spot or a vital organ with the specific like weapon in question. And that's just how the first blade works. So, yeah, I would probably argue it doesn't really have any special properties. It just seems like a giant AP boost. Whereas, like, you can argue the Cult, the Equalizer, and definitely for sure, Death Scythe have, like, death manipulation and higher forms of soul manipulation. Because, like, God literally created souls. Like, he created the entire basis for a soul. His soul manipulation should be much higher than your standard, like, angel or demon blades. Now, granted, I'm not going to say Bayo's soul manipulation is, like, crap either. But, like, I don't think she's ever bet anything like fucking what Chuck has to offer. Potency-wise. I mean, maybe not potency-wise, like, property-wise.
I shouldn't have gone down that ball.
It's just like, I don't think that he would, survive. Oh, the Lord of Bones! Time for an interesting conversation.
Stink of the living, horseman, of souls long overdue. You are not welcome here.
Pity. I was starting to enjoy the atmosphere.
Then you have not been here long. Billions of souls crowd my kingdom. All of humanity.
Oh, are you sad that there are a billion souls in here? Sounds like suffering.
Show me the way to the well of souls.
And what do you seek there? Power over life and death.
Wouldn't Kratos get resistance to death manipulation from fighting Hades in his realm?
I wondered where the souls of your brethren.
More like he did it from like not dying to the river Styx.
Hardly needs more subjects.
True. Yet I must face this rabble without the lords who serve me.
That's not my concern.
Make it your concern, and I will grant your request. Find my 3 dead lords.
I love how Death just keeps getting extorted by other people to do their job for them.
That's just like, I could have sworn that I'm just doing everyone's dirty work. Feels like an RPG.
The lords to me.
Oh, wait a minute.
that they might share my burden.
So, can this guy even fight Dead technically, or no?
He could, but Death would whoop his ass. It would be probably a long fight, though, because he was able to fight Argyle, who was born straight from the heart of the Abyss and originally ruled over the Lord of the Dead. Or ruled over the Dead Plains. He's not in that position for, strictly speaking, you know, like he's not there for fluff reasons. He's there on the basis of power.
Do not fail me, horseman, or you will never return to the eternal throne, and your brother will be lost to you.
What do you know, my brother?
Seven seals.
I believe it's confirmed that War's soul is currently held in the Abyss.
Good shit, Newen, good shit. Is it?
Burning with agony. Now it cools in the abyss, surrounded by void.
Surrounded by void and silence, but remember,
The charge
no void manipulation on any of the profiles for any of the God of War characters.
You mean
Or not
Darksiders?
God of War characters. Any of the Darksiders characters. Literally stated to be a void, stated to be nothingness, stated to be oblivion.
Careful, Newen.
You have yet to teach me how to reach the well. I grow tired of these diversions.
If you want answers, why don't you take them? On this path, you do not serve the balance. And
So here, the Lord of Worms technically confirms something correct.
until you
Um, is that he basically says that you're not without,
if I don't,
you are without permission. So because you haven't been sanctioned by the council, you are denied your true power. So for that reason, I can probably fight you. Or as he puts it, you are beneath me.
Why did your lords leave the eternal throne?
they seek what they cannot have. Something beyond both death and life. Oblivion. The cowards claimed it was
Oh, here we go.
already eating
Oblivion.
the fringes of our realm. After I punished them, they
He explains. Now let's remember how easy this was to get.
Hang on, Newen, let's back up, let's back up.
of his corruption. Name it what you will. It is not a threat to the lords of the dead. We have judged the fallen since the beginning of time. There is no power that can undo that.
We have judged since the beginning of time. What you speak of is corruption. It makes no difference what you name it. It is oblivion. Sounds like nothingness to me.
Wink. Newen, what are you doing? Newen, survive! Newen, survive!
Mangler should scale Darksiders since he seems to know a lot about the game.
Fuck.
Well, I'll have you know, Pinky, I might be doing exactly that.
No! Newen, no! Damn it.
What is the equalizer? It's a god gun. Yeah, the tech is correct. Was that clicking sound? Might be me.
Probably
Someone counting it when the cult was introduced? Maybe, but... The bone covered in virgin blood. Will Supernatural be in Death Battle? Probably not unless Lucifer is in Death Battle. If Lucifer is in Death Battle, then they'll throw Supernatural in there. But realistically, like, I'm gonna be honest, if they threw Lucifer in there, like, they would just throw him in as himself, and then probably throw in Michael inside of Dean as Vestal or something.
Yeah, what would even be the matchup?
That would be a sick one. What?
What would even be the matchup?
No, that would be the matchup. It would be Lucifer from the Lucifer TV show series versus Dean Winchester when he's in Michael's, you know, like when he's currently controlled by Michael. Either timeline Michael or main timeline Michael. I would assume, at least. Or it'd be Lucifer versus Lucifer.
That's probably
Either
the
way,
more
that
likely
would be
matchup.
that would be a stomp in Supernatural's favor.
Oh, you think so, huh?
Oh yeah,
Oh, source?
definitely.
What's your
I
source
mean,
for
he doesn't
that?
have nearly the fucking AP.
That depends how you want to take Lucifer's statements regarding Crisis on Infinite Worlds.
Is he even able to scale to his infinite multiverse?
He's not worried about the Anti-Monitor's destruction. He's joking about it.
I wouldn't take that as a valid argument. There's nothing in his own series that scales him to the entirety of it, or even anything within his own cosmology. In fact, they write off alternate universes as just this funny little thing that they can go to. Which, again, I'm not saying they don't have Uni feats or Uni Plus feats. They clearly fucking do. But like, they're just like, oh hey, here's the like the best weapon they have is the sword. This freaking sword of what's it called? The sword of.
Use your words.
No, I'm trying to remember the name of his sibling. The Angel of Death. Azrael? Azrael's blade, basically. The Angel of Death. Basically, they had to get 3 different pieces of this item to make a blade of the flaming sword that essentially can, like, completely destroy a person in their soul and can cut open portals within other universes. That's the best weapon in the entire verse, and that's still shittier than the top 5 best weapons in Supernatural. Some of which the characters had access to in the first couple seasons.
Lies. Goku versus
Ebony and
God.
Ivory versus the Equalizer. Equalizer is definitely weaker than Ebony and Ivory.
No, more likely than not, the protagonist of Grim will fight the Winchester brothers in a death battle. The problem is that whoever you're going to give Dean the matchup to has to be from a TV show. They're not going to give it to someone who's not, or the fucking characters. Actually, would Lucifer even scale that high in general?
In which Lucifer?
Well, I mean the one from Supernatural.
Yeah, he scales to Uni, and versions of him scale to Uni Plus to potentially 2C, depending on what you want to argue. Just like any version of them that scales the Archangels is Uni, because apparently I did check the U-Land, it is indeed a universe. And then versions of once he gets the Nephilim Grace in season 12, he basically says he's going to remake the universe in like 7 days. Now he does say the 7 days timeline because it's like that's what he wants to do.
That
Gabriel,
sounds like an anti-feat.
Gabriel makes it clear he can make a universe like that. Not to mention they all fought the darkness directly with God. That seems to be something that they're all convinced they did. And that is one of the few things that Chuck has shown not to be lying about, and it's corroborated by other people. So if they were able to fight the darkness for any length of time, especially if all 4 of them did it together alongside God, then as fucked up as it sounds, technically that makes them like 2C. And quite high into 2C. Like dozens of universes, maybe higher, into 2C.
Wank. Did they even do anything in that fight?
I mean, if you want to look at season like 10 as an example, or season 11 as an example, they fucking like when in Castiel's body, they like he stabs her when she's like kind of like focused on God at the moment. So I guess it would just be the same thing. Like the thing is that even like the archangels in general have a greater amount of power than most of the angels in heaven.
Hang on, new hint. Always start with your Q, because your Q increases damage output because it shreds armor and magic resist. Later, Spin Demon. Thanks for stopping by, mate. Always start your fights with Q, Newen.
Yeah, Newen. Whatever that means.
No, it's because I found out the other day during Kyle's stream that basically, if I want to, we can play League of Legends while fucking, you guys are streaming.
As the Horsemen too being potentially be uni. The Horsemen in Supernatural have nothing. They're trash. The best that they give you is that they give powers to people who made them, or created them, or resist them. Which that's it. But like we don't really know how their powers work around like your typical angels, because technically Castiel for a fucking billionth time is like depowered. Well, I guess it's not the billionth time at that time. It's actually the first time he gets depowered in the series, but
it sounds like you're not a fan of Castiel's power situation.
dude, I'm a fan of his power situation the way I'm a fan of like Sword's level resets. It's cursed. Dude, if Kyle ever makes like a supernatural scaling video, we're just gonna have to commit like an entire week to making supernatural gifts and people getting of like Sam, Dean, and like general silliness involving like characters getting depowered. Gotta be great. What? Did I not grab interdiction?
Easy.
No, I definitely did. This is strange.
Lucifer came gone in his last season and left it because he didn't want it to think he might be above supernatural Lucifer.
Hang on. I'm killing mummies. Apparently I'm playing Tomb Raider now. Or more accurately, I have been this entire stream.
I mean, if you give him his god key, then you'd have to give Lucifer from Supernatural a strongest key too at that point. So now you're arguing for, fuck. I'm gonna head over here because we're under attack. So now you're.
I was gonna say you'd have to give him his Nephilim grace and like the items touched by God. You'd have to give him power equivalent to like, you know, near God's level or at God's level, but like in a standard supply. Which God Lucifer is kind of like in the Lucifer show is basically featless. He doesn't do anything. In fact, the entire last season is him just being in denial about whether or not he wants to become God or his responsibility in becoming God. And then he just kind of shaves it off because he's like, you know what? I think it's more important to teach people to escape their suffering. Hell, I'm like, yeah, that is more meaningful, but like, you do realize you've basically just been like, you know, just freaking like pulling our legs the entire season.
Yeah, it was real big fucker, a little bit of a cop out there, but his brother does confirm that is omnipotent, so that'll still have to be like as strong as that verse can get. And again, if you go off Christ Lost Infinite Worlds, that's a two-way scaling.
What did you say? What did you say? I didn't hear anything.
And if you go off Crisis on Infinite Worlds, which is a canonical thing that happens in that multiverse, that would be two-way scaling.
Well, so here's the problem I have with Crisis Infinite Worlds, is that the logic of that is basically assuming that he scales to the entirety of the Infinite monitor because he's not worried about what the Infinite
No.
The actual...
I mean God Lucifer would scale to that because God and the others know about he knows what's going on, so that means we can confirm the knowledge of that universe would include the knowledge of the multiverse. So omnipotence in that context would mean in reference to literally the multiverse.
Is it proven that the God of the supernatural universe can fuck with the antimatter?
No, but they know about him and everything. So you have to argue that they're literally like just ignoring a massive factor there.
Well, like in general, like his omnipotence in the actual show is shown mainly to affect his own universe. He has power, like he can affect things outside of his universe, but like his priority and his main focus is on his current timeline.
Yes, but they would still know about the multiverse and the dangers within it. So if he says that,
they could know about the dangers. They could know about the dangers of the multiverse. I wouldn't scale them to the dangers of the multiverse.
I mean, the problem is that they like. So again, they like. I see where you're coming from, but if they know about the multiverse, they know about the dangers the multiverse has, and he states himself to be all powerful and omnipotent. Just because he doesn't demonstrate it, I feel like that's. I mean, I guess if you really want to be a
I
stickler,
feel like we're kind of arguing a huge cosmological upgrade to a verse that doesn't even care about the existence of its multiverse at all.
yeah, but I mean, well, we're talking about power scaling though. Most writers don't give a fuck about half the shit we come up with. In general,
No. I mean, like a general focus on the multiverse, even then, for a lore
I mean,
purposes.
the problem is that it still happens regardless. So like, we still have to look at it and like recontextualize statements as a result of that knowledge.
Well,
This would be fine if Lucifer didn't know about the anti-monitor or anything. But the fact that even him, while partying around,
when does he make the statement though?
it's literally 5 years before the show starts.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't take that then.
What do you mean you won't fucking take that? It's a canonical fucking entry.
No, I wouldn't take that at all. Like, I wouldn't take that with the interpretation that you're making because
Why
at
not?
that point, like, well,
If even
because
him,
if it's 5 years before the show even starts, it's before any details on the lore even given.
I'm sorry, but power scaling literally works off retroactively adding shit. So
That's not really how power scaling works.
It is.
You need to provide that it's consistent with the main series.
No, I don't, because it's information present within it. Unless you want to argue it's an outlier.
I would just argue the context of those statements don't mean what you think they mean.
You literally are just like, again. So how are you gonna do that? Oh, fucking hell, you fucking loser.
It's actually really simple. God in his own universe only fucks with what's in his universe,
Yes,
even if he's aware of things in the multiverse.
So then your argument is that because we never see it happen, therefore it's not valid.
No, it's
That's
not that
literally
we
your
don't see
argument.
it happen. It's that he has no interest
Yes,
in any other timeline.
but that doesn't mean he can't do it. Again, by that logic, we'd have to downscale
you
DMC.
have to prove that you have to literally prove he can because you have no statements or evidence.
He's literally the same God, and it's the same hell in the multiverse. So hell, as it is the same one across the multiverse as is heaven.
What are you talking about?
Discussing whether or not Lucifer in the TV show can, or more accurately, whether or not God in the Lucifer TV show can scale to where God, the present scales in, like, the cosmology, based off the Crisis on Infinite Earths cameo.
Whoa, we were not talking about the presence. We were talking about the end anymore.
You understand that when we're saying God here, it's in reference to the presence, right? Like, you understand what the presence is in DC, right? It's God. Lucifer at the TV show is Lucifer as it'd be the same position in the cosmology.
I understand that, but like you understand that in the actual show, like their interest is not on the multiverse.
That doesn't change like the statements. I mean, again, like your best argument is it's just an outlier and move on from there. Because you're, and actually, whether I think about the multiverse is debatable. We do find out in the final season. Thank you, I know I'm a Chad. We do find out in the final season that even the angels can travel different dimensions regardless, so they don't need the blade to do it. So that's kind of a weird plot hole from season 2, but whatever. Because God's wife comes back, and Lucifer explains that happened because their sibling can travel and send a message.
So the
wherever.
problem with Earth is that we know what version of Lucifer is there, and it's not the one at the end of the series. And by the end of the Crisis on Infinite Earths, there's only one Earth.
Well, that's actually not true. The Flash series retconned that.
That is true.
No.
All the other Earths were destroyed.
No, that got retconned in the Flash TV show. I think I told you this. Remember the movie version of Flash meets the old version of Flash?
Where's my interdiction?
Okay. So for context, at the end of Crisis, Kyle is right. There's one Earth, but in the Flash TV show, I don't remember if that happens immediately after Crisis or later on. The Flash is in his lab, and the movie version of the Flash from the DCEU appears in the TV show, and Flash is like, "You can't be here. That's not possible. There's only one Earth left after the Crisis." Like, they directly reference what Kyle said, but fucking he's still there, and then he just, like, dips. That was whack. You're damn right it wasn't you. I'm surprised I missed my cue. Again, your best argument is it's just an outlier and move on from there. But technically it is a part of the cosmology. There's evidence there's still universes after the fact. And Oh, okay, like Lucifer's lines alone, yeah, you kind of had to. Wait, Mangler, you didn't do what he asked. Why'd you come back to him then?
I wanted my interdiction. I need the interdiction to do what he asked.
What the fuck is the interdiction? How about you
It's
interdict
like
these nuts?
Oh my god. The end you. Wait, I gotta answer questions. Where do you guys scale Jackie X Staccato from the darkness?
I'm gonna give a hot take here. He only scales at best to low 2C.
Isn't interdict what you do with another feeder?
No. Lies.
I'm just gonna say, I remember some guy, I think in KT server, argued that the game version of the Darkness is equivalent in strength to the comics one, who is equivalent in strength to like Superman because he fought Superman one time.
Yes. However, there's a hard cap there in that cosmology, or in the Darkness's power, technically.
Well, you know what the problem is?
Well,
is that the Darkness 3 never eventuated, so we never got the boss fight against the fucking Angelus.
It's okay. You can cry in the corner. Anyways.
I was gonna say, doesn't the game already give you like Uni Plus scaling? The comics give you Uni Plus scaling? Like,
it's very iffy if you want to try and say that it's the same version of Jackie from the comics.
Well, regardless.
Oh no, I'm not saying it's the same version. I'm saying don't both versions give like Uni Plus scaling?
Well, this is the problem.
This more or less comes from like the Darkness existing before time.
I actually no. So I get it because when the Darkness and the Angelus both fought each other in their true forms, they only destroyed a universe. So at the height of their power, in their strongest bloodlusted battle, they only destroyed one universe. That was it. That's why I don't think scaling Jackie above Uni Plus, unless there's like direct evidence, makes sense, because like the Darkness at its full power, or at its fucking like in a battle bloodlusted against its rival, couldn't destroy more than the universe.
That just sounds like the comic line, to be honest.
Yeah.
Pretty sure there's no meaningful difference.
Yeah, so that's why I'm just saying that the Darkness will only like at best scale to like Uni Plus. Unless there's like some shenanigans scaled later. So when someone says the Darkness versus Spawn, you look them in the face and you tell them, get that trash ass cosmology out of my sight!
As if you would scale Spawn.
You're right, I wouldn't waste my time with a burnt piece of bacon.
Smart man.
I'm too busy spending it with daughters who get sent out to die for their father, or mother, technically.
Yes, I'm aware of your fetish.
That's not a fetish. Fake news.
Sure it is.
No, you know what, mate? Like, here, let me send you the thumbnail for the next video.
Oh boy.
Give him all the validation he needs.
Not a fetish. Sure you. That was all new and Flourish, technically. I just asked him to
Next, you're gonna tell me you weren't sending them to die or anything.
Oh.
But the famine horseman, Mangler. God Castiel creeping in the back. Nobody cares about the famine horseman.
Nah, God's narrative, he fulfilled in some story, is there for the same God to every story, yep. That's a reasonable, wholesome thumbnail. 100%.
God and all universes are the same. They know everything. They know all of fiction. That's not really true. Consistently.
I'm not going to get into how you want to discuss God. If a new DCG happens, what do you think it'll be about, guys?
No. I mean, like, how gods are written in, like, fiction, knowing everything.
Listen, I'm not touching that. I'll say I think the next DMC game is going to be I hope it's a Nero-focused game, personally.
How gods are written in fiction.
Wow. No, but, well, I'll say...
Don't say anything!
You didn't say anything. If you say so. What I was going to say was fucking, I would personally just say that I don't think we should have Dante and Virgil in the next game outside of playable characters. I think it's time we just move away from that.
Get me some Nero and some playable Trish. That's all I need.
Can Supernatural Lucifer steal TV show Lucifer's Grace? No, because they don't work off the same system.
They work off of a very different energy system. Which is to say that Supernatural has an actual energy system. And Lucifer does.
No, Lucifer does. Like we continue to see that angels who kind of like drop from grace lose their power over time. It's just that there's no real way to quantify these increases and decreases.
No, not in Lucifer. So
yeah, because remember in season 1, Amendiel was losing his powers because
no. So what happens is that Amendiel was self-actualizing. So that's the thing. It's explained that because they find this angels and technically God, because God apparently doesn't know this somehow, even though he's omniscient in the show. Find out that the reason they manifest or lose their powers the way that they do, or they feel the things that they do for any reason at all that they do, is because they self-actualize. The reason, like, Amenadiel lost his powers is because he thought he failed. So as a result, he started losing his wings. And he also assumed, once he lost his wings, that it was a test from his father. Which is why he assumed he had to do things to get them back. That's why he didn't get them back until he, brought Charlotte to heaven, essentially. Because he thought, this is the time when I must use my power. I shit you not, that is literally how the story explains it, is just that, like, they genuinely believe there's something with the way they're doing. Therefore, there is something wrong with the way they're doing.
Is that confirmed, or is that just based off God's issue?
No. So they state directly, they self-actualize, and God. It's confirmed that God does as well.
Yes.
That God believes.
Yeah,
he's
that's
losing
literally
his
how
powers.
Michael got him to think that he was losing his powers.
He floated the idea, and then that's why you get that funny scene where God accidentally kills quote unquote kills what's his name? Dan. Oh, I love that scene. What is a better, more justifiable lore reason why Dante or Kratos don't have their Devil Arms upgrades from previous games? Dante had to sell the Devil Arms to pay off his debt, or the winter making Kratos lose his upgrades? Dante selling his Devil Arms. Because Dante has consistently shown with all of his business practices that he is a horrible businessman, or at least that he's not a good businessman. So it's completely believable that would happen. Whereas for Kratos losing it to Fimbulventer, that seems like an ass pull on the part of the writers.
Can I just say that I despise the fact that, like, Fimbulwinter, which is just prolonged winter.
No.
There's nothing.
Devil said that there was a statement that magical things got absorbed in Fimbulwinter.
Yes, and Devil tried sending me a statement this morning trying to say that Kratos changed his fate.
No. Someone have to explain to him that fate doesn't even exist in a conventional sense. People just do what they do.
He sent me a link. It came from, like, the director talking about the ending of Ragnarok. And I told him, like, even if he does say that, that doesn't you need more than one statement to basically undo a comic in 5 games worth of showing that no, he can't.
You also need to, like, kind of understand that even in the context of the new game, they established that fate, by the interpretation of the Norse, doesn't even exist. It's just that people don't change because they have no reason to do so. So, like, you wouldn't even be arguing he'd be changing his fate. He'd just be changing who he is as a person, which you can't even use in the context of a versus matchup. So either he gets nothing, or he's just protected by fate. Which means he loses fate resistance.
For us, the powers of the land are stored with the land. That's why he can't use his own powers. Oh, believe me, we know.
We're aware.
Believe me, Kyle's been salivating at all of this.
No, I've been salivating. I've been salivating at the mouth for the cosmology stuff. Everything else is, like, just
everything else is the garnish to the steak.
I don't like garnish.
You don't like
Oh,
garnish?
you UFC game about the multiverse? That would be great. maybe we'd be able to actually pull it off. Unlike Bale.
Oh, this is fucking ridiculous. I'm literally losing to some
Oh, wait.
fucking shenanigans.
I know what I was doing wrong here. I finally turned on my brain. What would Trish do in a new playable game? I would assume that she would do most of the things that she did before, except now you could just give her some of Mundus's powers. Because she confirms in the novel flat out she has Mundus's memories in her soul. You could literally just build on that lore by giving her Mundus's abilities. Which would be sick. And give her a little bit of development by saying, like, I need to be stronger so I can, like, fight or something. Like, a girl's gotta use everything she can, and then, like, bam, she shoots out Nightmare's powers or something.
Damn it, he has ult now. Oh, he bought 3 fucking longswords? That fucking whore.
I did it. Using my big brains. We got a playable Nightmare, Shadow, and Griffin. Now give me a playable Argus character with an Argosax ability. You just get playable Arius. And he has the ability to summon Argosax as his Devil Trigger. And then you get...
Oh my god. You can keep talking.
He's only playable on the keyboard, because that's the only thing that would have enough buttons to give him all the powers he truly deserves. And even then, they still can't give you all the powers because they have to lock his entire kit behind DLC because it's so large. It's not because they didn't want to give it to you, it's because they couldn't list all of his moves on a single move list. Ooh. This looks like a thing I have to kill.
Yeah, I knew it. I don't think it's going to win. We should probably just FF. No one on the team's winning at all.
That's actually a decent thumbnail.
It is. Does that mean Trish now beats Rachel from Dead Ninja Gaiden? And give me some time. Give me some time. I'll give me some time. I'll get arguments.
Yeah. You gotta get there. You gotta get there.
I'll literally just think about the corruption. Trish can't fight.
Mangler said Bill's not dead. I know. You understand that like he's a very trash businessman. That's what causes him to go into debt, and what causes him to have the bills. They're basically the same thing.
He also
like
has
Dante's problem is. Oh, go ahead.
a little bit of money.
Well, the problem is that any money that he could have, he sends away to Gru's daughters, and what money he has left, he doesn't keep track of or put like any sort of rules around. So Trish ends up getting like a huge allowance. The rest of the money gets extracted from Lady or from Morrison out of his checks because he causes collateral damage, or he doesn't accept payment from jobs that he's sympathetic to and doesn't take jobs that he doesn't like. Also closes his business at 9 p.m. and only answers like jobs over the phone from people that already know a password through the underground like fucking mafia. Like,
even then,
this
he'll
man
still say
is
no.
not a boss. Yeah, even then, he'll probably still say no. That's assuming you even got to the password to begin with, and you need to be local to his area to even find him. So, yeah, this man is not a practical business owner by any stretch of the imagination. It is completely fair to say that he gets bankrupt. With those policies? Hell yeah. Oh, I accidentally grabbed that. My bad.
He's probably enjoying his time in hell.
Yeah, no, seriously, he's just like, oh god, like, hell is hell, but at least I don't have to pay my bills.
I guarantee you, if they end up coming back, Virgil's just gonna be a fucking business associate, and he's just gonna keep all the books.
He'll have to cook the books, honestly, to keep Dante alive or afloat.
But Mangler, cooking the books is
Because
illegal.
Lady and Trish will wipe him out.
I've never met a man who has a tab on pizza. What's wrong with you?
Yes. Am I in the wrong... I feel like I'm in the wrong area.
Why won't you have a tab on pizza?
Oh, there we go. I know what to do. We'll go up one.
I'm sorry, New Hit. My TF was better last season. How powerful is the supernatural pagan gods?
Fateless. Oh, well, sort of. Kyle, do the novels have anything?
I'll let you know when I buy them.
Okay, then for now, nothing.
Are you serious?
Their feats consist of dying in a kill streak to Lucifer.
What about like fucking Loki? Doesn't Loki show up later on? Like, shouldn't he have some feats?
No.
I mean, they're probably stronger than your average angel, though.
Yeah, but like...
No, so here's the thing, it's like,
stronger than
even
your
if you want to
average
say
angel.
he's Archangel level, he'd be the weakest Archangel there is.
Granted, the powers of the land for them. There's both have better reasons than why Sam was not allowed to use her powers in another end. You want to talk about Red Dusk? Alright, can I find a door out of here? Oh no, only disappointment. Okay.
Isn't Gabriel the Loki of Supernatural because he has a demigod?
No, they're actually, you find out they're two different characters.
Yeah,
But
they just look the exact
Loki-
fucking same.
Loki lets Gabriel use his appearance.
Yeah, he had a specific deal with him. I think it was because they were on good terms and they had like a bit of a business arrangement with Odin. And as a result of it, when things went south, I think in heaven, he went to Loki and he basically got what was it called? He got plastic surgery, I believe, facial reconstruction, to make his face look like Loki. But of course, that didn't really do anything at all because all of his brothers can still see his soul and know he's Gabriel. So,
Well, the whole point
if
was...
they saw him...
I remember the actual scene in question. Basically, Loki's explained that what happened was that he had a deal with Gabriel, and the deal was he would let Gabriel go in his place to protect the other pagan gods. But obviously, Gabriel failed to do that because he got dead.
I was gonna say, that explains why he's hanging, technically, the funny thing is that they explain why he's hanging out with the pagan gods years after all the pagan gods are slaughtered. Only when he comes back later do they actually explain his backstory of all the pagan gods. And it's actually really interesting. But then it's like, why are we learning this now when the entire capacity of all the pagan gods, not all of them, but a significant chunk of them just freaking died to Lucifer? Because they were like, yeah, we're going to use you guys as bargaining chips to stop the apocalypse. And Lucifer's like, that's funny, but you know what else is funny? Death.
Well, no, to be fair, their plan wasn't awful. The problem is that they had a fucking traitor.
The plan is they had no power to enforce that plan.
Well, no, so the problem is that, like, I thought like they were going to play it smart because they know they're weaker. Well, with the exception of, I think, who was the old man in the fucking biker jacket? Was that Odin?
I don't remember. I don't think they had Zeus or Odin with them there.
No, they did
No,
not.
Zeus dies later on. It was Odin who dies.
Wait, how does
Odin
Zeus
dies
die?
in there?
Yeah, Odin's there. He's talking shit about the angels, thinking that they're weak. Which is ironic because he dies on the ground screaming in pain.
Well, it is Odin. He talks shit in every mythology he's a part of.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of ironic? Odin, every version of Odin we know, it's just like talks big shit, the leader of a pantheon of gods and then gets murdered by something supremely evil or something else.
Okay, I'm gonna back up because fucking I could die from that. Wow.
Seems to be a running gag.
Knew it! Take the bullet! Thank you!
How much of the grace buff the Archangel Nephilim, we can't really say. We only address their tiers by their names, but Archangel Grace gives Jack enough power after he's been had his power stolen. It gives him enough energy to return almost to his full strength.
There's no reason.
And then Nephilim power gives the causes what's his name, Lucifer, to be like, yeah, so I can remake the entire universe real quick. But he's just much stronger than he normally is.
That is pretty up there, Nguyen. That's pretty up there.
Oh, there is a door out of here.
Kyle,
dude, where is the interdiction?
And there's Kyle being incredibly stubborn. Evidence that GT happens in the same world as Battle of Gods, and Kyle's like,
no. Even if you want to say it happens in between, good. Prove that GT happens in that timeline.
Kyle, I'm gonna pretend I didn't see that.
What are you guys saying?
If you go in general chat, you can see that Sparta posted evidence that claims that Battle of Gods takes place between Z and GT. You report the Silas? I didn't report the Silas. I don't know how bad he was, but honestly, that bot lane was... So the problem is that every lane fucking lost. I could have come back, but every lane fucking lost, damn it. I'm going to put TF to the side. He's not worth it. I should have gone RE. But against Varus, I don't even know what beats Varus.
You could just say in general that GT, with its given area, is intended to take place after Super. Like I would.
I mean, that's what I argue, but I want to see if he can argue his way out of my logic. Whether I'm right or not, I don't care. I want to give him a challenge.
Your mom's challenge. Just kidding.
My gosh.
She's not.
I wouldn't use Battle of Gods because Battle of Gods isn't even like. I mean, technically, the manga and the anime aren't even in the same fucking timeline because they have a combined canon that's different from their own canons.
You know I can hear you, right? Kyle, do you know Sparta can hear you?
I know he can hear me. That's the point.
Well, it looks like he knew he could hear you there, Sparta.
Well, so since your ears seem to be working, can you help me figure out why interdiction is not in my inventory, even though I went to the Lord of Bones and he literally told me, "Hey, go get my losers that are working off the clock, or not working on the clock."
Are you sure he's supposed to give it to you?
Yes.
Okay, can I be fair with the Lord of Bones? Only two of them need to be sacrificed. One of them is still doing his job.
Okay, regardless of the reason, I have to get them with interdiction. If I don't have interdiction, I can't.
You going to fight Argle?
Oh, wait a minute. I have to kill one of them to actually use the device, right?
Yes.
Oh.
Dumbass.
Never mind. Hey,
are you gonna go and fight Argle, or are you gonna wait for the post game content to do that?
I'll wait till post game content. He's a big boy. I'm gonna crit him to death.
You scumbag.
DMC4, that's why.
No, if you're underprepared, that boss fight is fucking hell.
It is. He will auto-block you. His auto-block mechanic is the worst thing I've ever seen. You try to swing around to the side, and then instantly his block is there. If I didn't know any better, I'd be like, this fucker has the best instinctive reaction I've ever seen. I'm swinging around his body, and his block is already there. He's faster than me, and I literally have an evade counter that's designed to counterattack people immediately. Did alternate Michael beat up Lucifer with grace or without? Why do you keep adding with grace? Well, like Dark
Answer
Lord,
the
all the
question.
angels have grace. all the angels have grace.
I'm just gonna add this little caveat too. We know for certain it's stated that alternative universe Michael is stronger than the Michael that we know. The actual
He's like the strongest archangel we know.
Lies. Oh man, I remember now. That fight was so fucking trash. Lucifer versus alternate universe Michael was the stupidest looking fight
It
I've
was
ever
a thing
seen.
of it was a thing of utter and pure beauty. Am I right?
Yeah, I love the air blast. I love the fucking Avatar fucking cosplay there.
Dude, I loved how fake the air fight looked. Like you could very clearly tell they were being held on strings. The sound effects were great. I unironically thought it was like, a comedy routine for a second, and then I forgot that was being taken completely seriously.
Actually, now that I think about it, fucking hell, wasn't Lucifer gonna beat alternate Michael with Jack's grace?
No.
No.
He was getting slapped around.
He's getting his shit kicked in. Like Ultimate Michael was strong, was like the strongest version of Michael that we knew, and that was before 17.
Okay.
Alternate Michael took over the god of his universe? No, God just left.
The literal sword of Michael.
He didn't take over the god of his universe. God, like Chuck, in the standard universe, is the creator of all the universes in the supernatural multiverse. It's the same God. He made all of the universes specifically because he just wanted to create different versions of Sam and Dean as a TV show. Because it was literally their lives were literally so interesting to him. He felt like creating entire realities and people's backstories down to a minute detail just to replicate them. Because he was obsessed with it.
Mangler, your stream's down. What happened?
I turned off my thing because I was tired of running around in a dungeon with my head cut off. Like a chicken with my head cut off. I am also quite tired.
Oh, so you're done?
Done. Turned off the thing. I turned off the thing, also known as the Twitch, the console, everything.
So, I don't. Are we still streaming?
The stream's currently still up at the moment. Yes.
Yeah, you guys can keep going if you want to.
I was gonna say, me and Zim were discussing some things about 4, and we came to the conclusion that's not too good.
Do you still want to discuss that thing off stream now, or like?
Yeah, here I'll on the stream right now, and then we can continue this a little later. If you guys want to have that discussion.
Right.
I'll end the stream. I'll be back, guys, in probably 10 to 15 minutes if I come back.